myself a little thumbs up, pat on the back for having nobody here watching me. It's amazing.
We left the city, the pollution, the crowd. The air is clear, ocean's blue. I love that sound.
Throw up a thumbnail and then we'll get on.
And if you want this, you can follow me. Let's go. Follow me. And let's go to the place where we belong and leave our troubles at home. Come with me. We can go to a paradise of
Let me get this situated. I'm gonna do the double screen thing. Gotta be a better way of doing this. There's gotta be. Okay. All right. Yeah, let's watch Charlie's take on it. 2 million views. I'm lucky I'll get 2.
Yesterday, Ava Kris Tyson of the Mr. Beast crew had a ton of evidence surface about...
Wait, what is... I'm still online, right? Why is my frame rate dipping? Like, pretty fucking bad. Why is it doing this? Don't do this to me, frame rate. Is it back? Are we back? Give me 1 second. Definitely cannot be helping my viewership. Oh god damn it. It's got like a really shoddy connection for some reason. We were doing just fine. I'm not like downloading anything. It's like real bad. It's like less than 1K up. Let me try something. What are you doing, internet? What the fuck? I've literally not changed anything. And then it drops down to like garbage level upload connection speed. I'm so confused. It's like really fucking bad. Holy crap. The wireless is just fucking awful right now. Get my Metroid game ready, regardless. Okay, it jumped up to green. Hopefully that'll help. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck is happening tonight. Seems to be fine. But alright. Let's get on with it. Oh good, and it went back down. Right as soon as I'm about to start. Of course it does.
Horrible behavior with how they communicated with minors, as well as a past of really disgusting shit. A lot of people are calling the Season 7 writers of 2024 internet drama lazy because they're reusing a similar plot line. A lot of people drew comparisons to Dr. Disrespect recently being outed for talking inappropriately to a minor. There are tons of screenshots to showcase exactly what was being said to someone who was between 13 and 14 years old at the time, and
it's not great.
It's completely unacceptable. Some of them were just public tweets right under everyone's nose. So Ava Tyson was an adult at this point. Lava was a child. And saying things like, I posted some fire nudes for you, please no share. And then other shit like, but not $5, pathetic JK Casey face. They seem to communicate a lot, even being in a group chat and everything.
What is happening to my computer right now?
Try and cope and deflect, saying like, oh, it's just edgy jokes, people are blowing this out of proportion. What a bunch of fucking nonsense. That's a load of hooey. That's dirty barnacles. That's ridiculous. Under no circumstances should an adult be communicating with a child in any inappropriate manner whatsoever. Edgy jokes between the adult and the child are still fucking gross. It's not like the slam dunk defense that some people seem to think it is. Under no circumstances should an adult be in a group chat with a bunch of children sending "Coming for America" pictures. Like, that's still bad. That's still horrible. That's still really fucking weird. From what I can tell, most of the screenshots and a lot of the compiled evidence
crash on me again?
Prism42. This seems to be where most of it started.
What the fuck,
this video dropped, there's been a lot more screenshots that have come out with all kinds of really bad things that were being said to or about minors. I've only shown a couple here, but there's quite a bit more, and they're all just as bad, if not worse.
Is it because I'm clicking out of it? That shouldn't matter.
Ava Tyson had a habit of calling a 13 or 14-year-old daddy. Like, you can't just write that off as being like quirky, inappropriate, edgy jokes that
I thought the 13-year-old was calling him daddy. Hey, what's going on?
It's indefensible. Now, the 13, 14-year-old in question for a lot of these messages...
I did not know it was the other way around.
...forward to give their own accounts of the situation. And according to them, they don't believe that they were groomed or anything bad was done
I don't know what's going on with my internet.
Or anything like that. And
started being
I'll just
weird.
Go ahead and give my take on it here. I talked about it on stream. And I'm not trying to be some kind of armchair psychologist because I'm just, at the end of the day, a little reptile brain idiot. But I really do feel like in a situation like this, it's very difficult to process just how inappropriate or unacceptable something was.
Yeah, it's not good. I want to know what Mr. Beast is going to say about it.
As the person that you communicated to so closely for so long was actually evil or doing things that were wrong.
Hold on. I'm like getting hit right now. What the fuck is happening?
No child should have this kind of relationship with an adult where you're joking about sending nudes to a minor. Or making edgy
all of these
about
fucking pedophiles are popping up lately.
So
it's
while
not good.
The person here might not feel like a victim, it really is completely unacceptable that Ava Tyson would be communicating with them like this. It really is, no matter how it's spun. Now, it is important to mention that right now, most of the evidence screenshots, so I guess there is...
I watched a fuckload of them earlier, and then I had to give, like, my mind a rest, so I watched some theme park shit. Now I'm back on it. Yeah, this shit is not good at all. Very not good. And my internet connection isn't good right now either. Very sad times.
Chance that some could be faked, but some of them seem very hard to fake, like... There's a video going through a Snapchat conversation with Ava. There's also confirmed things that were publicly tweeted
gross.
from their account over the years, which I'll get to now.
Really
And
bad.
it was also revealed that Ava Tyson had a history of being a Shadman enthusiast. Since all of the tweets have been deleted, it makes it very difficult to find the times that they communicated
That
with
guy
Shadman or
needs
talked
to be thrown
about
under the
Shadman
jail.
and the art. But I did find this from Mudahar's video, who went to the Wayback Machine and showcased this tweet. And Mudahar censored it because the character does not appear to be over the age of 18. For those of you that know that name, that might have just triggered a Winter Soldier moment in your brain with your eyes rolling into the back of your skull, because it is so foul. Shadman was an artist who drew child porn.
Yep.
Now, when you hear that, a lot of people think that you're talking about lolly or lolly
Nope.
type shit.
And
which
by the
is,
way, that is fucked up too.
characters that look like little girls but are actually 5,000-year-old vampires. Like, that's the meme. Fucking sipping from their Mountain Dew going, uncultured swine. You see, it's not actually a...
And by the way, okay, well, this just isn't working, so I'm gonna have to play something else. But, yeah, I don't care if the little looking child, the like 3-year-old child, is a 5,000-year-old dragon. You're getting turned on by the image of a child's body. It's fucked up and it's unacceptable. That's doing mental gymnastics around that is you can't do it. You're literally getting turned on by a child's body. You're a fucking pedophile. Just
real
is
child.
what it
This is a victimless crime. This may look like a 4-year-old girl, but you don't understand the lore. She's actually coming from a sophisticated line of goblin ogres, and she is over 400 years old. So it's completely legal, and you're weird for thinking that it's weird. But with Shadman, he wasn't drawing lolly. He was drawing real children
try it one more time.
sexually. So one of the most infamous cases was when he drew Keemstar's 8-year-old daughter in a pornographic...
Wasn't 8, actually. It was 7. I thought it was 8, but apparently it was 7. And we listened to Keemstar's, while I was going all over this earlier, a couple hours ago, he was live, and he had a bunch of people in this, like, live Twitter thing. So that was interesting, because I guess all this shit started coming out, like, today. Like, a really, really coming out. I had heard like whispers of it in the past few days, but today, like, the fucking dams broke open.
Setting. That actual fucking lunatic drew porn of an 8-year-old girl.
Okay,
That's
it's
not
shutting
or
the
anything.
game
That
down
is something
now.
that
That's
actually happened. And you know what's even
This is
crazier?
good.
I talked about this on stream. A lot of people supported him publicly. Like, a lot of people
It's weird.
defended that.
It's a weird thing
Back
to do.
when Shadman dropped that revolting dog shit, there was a lot of people that were pumping their fists saying, "Go Shadman! It's Keemstar. Who cares? Doesn't matter. He deserves it anyway." Shadman, do you take requests? Can you do this person's underage
it's
daughter
fucked
next?
up.
He received applause for drawing child porn. Let that shit marinate for a moment. So anyway,
I'd never
Ava
heard of this
Tyson
guy until
has
earlier.
publicly tweeted
And
about
some
Molly.
fucked shit.
And in particular,
Actually,
there are tweets of Ava Tyson.
the fucked shit about it actually isn't, I mean, it is the fact that he draws that shit. It's he gets thousands of upvotes on like Twitter of the shit that he posts. That is terrifying. Like, actually fucking terrifying.
Tyson talking either to or about Shadman. A lot of the tweets are gone now because the Twitter account has been nuked, but there are archives of a lot of them. And one thing that still persists, and one thing that a lot of people have been showing, is that Ava Tyson may have actually commissioned a piece from Shadman, or at the very least, purchased a piece from Shadman. There's a clip from a Mr. Beast video where there is Shadman art hanging on the wall, belonging to Ava Tyson. I censored the close-up of the art for obvious reasons.
Yeah, he had that picture hanging up in his house that he was like with Mr. Beast, like him and Mr. Beast were roommates. Everyone's like, "Oh, did Mr. Beast know about this?" Well, he probably fucking did, because it was hanging up in their living room. And you can go back, and people have done it and showed like one of Mr. Beast video where he's like giving money to like pizza people or something, and it's right there. And of course Mr. Beast knows about it. Any like fucking rational person would be like, "Hey dude, where the fuck did you get that, and why is it hanging up in our living room?" Like you don't that it's not something you ignore. It's like some like toddler with like a BBC thing, big black cock on like tattooed on their leg as a spade, and like it's fucked shit. It's so fucked.
But this is something that is irrefutable. The only question
It's
about
not good.
Ava Tyson and Shadman's connection is whether or not a piece was commissioned or purchased. But at the very least, a piece was owned by Ava Tyson. And I don't think there's any wiggle room to just explain this away as some kind of innocent whoops.
I don't know. He's gonna have to fucking talk about it soon.
Was. With Ava Tyson having publicly talked about content and art like that, and then also owning a Shadman piece, I don't think it's some kind of coincidence. Like, I don't think it was an accident and they didn't know Shadman child porn.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he's known
and
for.
then yet another disturbing video surfaced where they had actually made a video a long time ago that linked to revenge porn of Jeanette McCurdy.
The story is
You're lagging. You may want to refresh. It is definitely my internet sorted itself out. It's not me at this point.
But the link's in the description if you want to see them. I mean, I'm not endorsing people to go look at somebody else's private business.
Like it was me earlier, but it's not right now.
You know, people might want to see them, so it's there if you want it.
That's crazy. That's astonishing. Sharing revenge porn publicly and trying to spin it like, well, some people might want to see this, so for you degenerates, I've posted the link in the description. If you want to check that out. It'd be weird to do that, and I'm not endorsing it. That's unhinged. Completely unhinged.
It's not
so
good.
All of this started to hit the mainstream. More and more people started sharing screenshots as well as other chat logs, all kinds of things with a history of communicating inappropriately with or about minors. And in response, a couple hours ago, Ava Tyson did make a statement, and this is what was.
Oh, really?
I'd like to apologize
I don't think
for
I've
any
seen
of my
this.
past behavior or comments if it hurt or offended anyone. It was not my intent. Seeing recent events, we've mutually decided it's best I permanently step away from all things Mr. Beast and social media to focus on my family and mental health. That is kind of a textbook non-apology. It doesn't address anything. It doesn't talk about anything. It's just like this blanket boilerplate statement about stepping away. There's no denial of anything, no claims that some of the information is false, made up, fabricated, a lie, a fib, a bunch of malarkey, nothing at all. You would really think that if any of the information was wrong or faked, that would be one of the first things that Ava Tyson would want to set the record straight on. But that didn't happen. Even if it was something like needing more time, I really feel like that would have been expressed in the statement, saying, need more time to talk about all of these things that are incorrect. But again, that's not there. So they're assumed to be all correct at this point, and they're indefensible, the things that have come out here. As I was rendering this video, Ava Tyson dropped more tweets claiming that no one was ever groomed, and then states that the victim vocally supported that that's false. I again already told you my feelings on that. I really don't think a child who has this kind of relationship with an adult would ever really recognize just how inappropriate it was because it became so normalized to them, which it never should. And there really is no excusing it in my eyes. Going further, there's an apology about unacceptable social media posts and then saying that it was edgy jokes and that it was unacceptable humor, that it's like a thing of the past and it's been misconstrued into things that didn't happen.
No, it's not misconstrued.
Not the accusations to impact hundreds of people who work at Mr. Beast, which is why Ava Tyson has stepped away. I just don't think you can write off a lot of those social media posts as edgy jokes or edgy humor when you actually owned art from an artist who draws child porn. That's not a joke anymore. Haha, bought some child porn art.
Got him.
That's not exactly side-splitting comedy. Like, I don't really think you can just go ahead and hand wave that as being edgy and like old humor that you've grown from. And then some of the tweets about it and like requests, what's the joke? Like, what's the punchline of that?
Yeah,
I really don't think you can just say, oh, it's just edgy jokes that are blown out of proportion. Sorry if people are offended by it. Like, that just doesn't really work to me. As of right now, there's been no response from Mr. Beast or anyone else on the team.
That's what
about
I
all
want to
this.
hear.
So
That's what
it remains to be
everybody's
seen
waiting
whether or
for.
not Jimmy or anyone else on the team knew about these things or what's going on there. But as of
Oh,
me making
they
this video,
absolutely
there's still
knew.
no response
They knew.
yet. So this whole situation is obviously horrible. And there's a little bit more I want to talk about here. And it's something I didn't even think I'd ever need to talk about, but I guess we've reached this point in the internet where this is necessary. I've been being attacked on Twitter, just fucking dogpiled, about my ignoring the situation and refusing to speak on it, being too much of a coward to talk about all this, which is crazy to me. And then people saying like, oh, where was the same energy for or where was the same energy that you had for Dr. Disrespect here? And it's crazy that I even have to talk about this. So last night during stream, this story was still breaking. Things were still coming out about this story. And I talked about it on stream.
And we were on the boogie shit last night.
The same day, all of these pieces of evidence were surfacing. I talked about it immediately. Once I became aware of what the evidence was out there and what the claims were and what was going on, I was talking about it right away.
Yeah.
And I even posted a video.
Dude, people just want somebody to be
short,
mad at.
nice and concise,
like,
about the whole bare bones of the situation.
People are so
and my
fucking
thoughts on it for
dumb.
the second channel. So that way, even if you have the biggest brain rot and can't focus on a video for long, you can still finish that whole video and see just how bad this whole Mike Tyson situation is. So I talked about it immediately, but Twitter didn't see that video, and the ones that did wrote it off as, oh, he's only gonna put this on his second channel because he's afraid to put it on his main channel.
There's no way he can
Dr.
win.
Disrespect. He was like that with Dr. Disrespect. You are
it's so
provably wrong.
stupid.
All you had to do was activate a few fucking neurons in your noodle. Check my Dr. Disrespect video. I posted it at, I think it was 9 p.m. on June 22nd. June 22nd is when my Dr. Disrespect video went up. The allegation against Dr. Disrespect was on June 21st. So what happened is, that allegation came out. I talked about it on stream. Dr. Disrespect made a statement as well the same day that I talked about on stream. Then the following day, almost a full 24 hours later, I made the video talking about it. And in this situation, it is the exact same timeline. I was talking about it as everything was unfolding. I even had a video go up on the second channel going over everything that was coming out.
If somebody wants to be mad at you,
24 hours later,
they are going to find a way to be mad at you.
As the Dr. Disrespect situation. And the main person who started this lightning rod of accusations about me ducking it and refusing to address it is fucking Sneeko of all people.
Yo, look out, Moist Critical is not going to go talk about the Kris situation because he wants to have the Mr. Beast collab. Bro, you're going to talk about every other trending situation, Dr. Disrespect, Sneeko, anything that goes viral goes on your main channel. Kris, the associate of the biggest YouTube channel in the world,
this is tough.
do a 4-minute clip on your second channel.
This is on hard mode, by the way.
And be a journalist if you're going to be a journalist, or just say that you want to have the collab. Stop lying.
Jesus Christ, the fucking drool there is going to drive me insane. I need to go put on the fucking bathrobe here and give him PTSD or something. What do you mean it is a 4-minute clip? Because I did that so people like you who don't pay attention long enough could see my take on it and also get the bare bones information of what makes it so horrible. That's the reason it's a 4-minute clip on the second channel.
Sure.
It was never going to be the only video I made talking about it. I was always going to make a full breakdown of this because it's bad. It's a horrible situation. So yes, you're right. I do talk about like big trending bad shit.
What makes them immune?
Or like Cody Ko most recently. I don't know why.
Okay, so actually some people were talking about this earlier. There's a few layers to it, and they're not going to be immune to it, by the way. Somebody was saying like, oh, they're immune because news outlets and stuff aren't picking this up. They will, because everything basically just broke tonight and last night. The news outlets absolutely 1,000,000,000% will be picking it up. Nobody's immune to this, but a lot of people may not speak out against it because Mr. Beast is like super huge, and that, like, in bigger content creators, if they speak out against it, may get, how do I put this? They may ruin their chances to be in a Mr. Beast collab, and Mr. Beast is like the #1 YouTuber right now, like beating out pretty much everybody. So if somebody speaks out against that, it's like, oh, I might ruin my chances to like move up in the social scale. But It absolutely will get picked up. I were a betting person, if I had any money in my account, I would definitely bet that we're going to be seeing this everywhere in the news. It's definitely going to be picked up by right wing media because this Kris is a a trans person, and they love to be like, oh look, trans people are pedophiles. Every one of them are, except for the fact that like literally every day, two to three religious figures, be it priests or youth pastors or something, completely get arrested every single fucking day of the year. And nobody ever seems to peep out about that. So that's kind of weird. But anyway, that's a completely different topic that I'm not, whatever. But anyway, it'll definitely happen. So yeah, there's a lot of different feelings on it. I'm feeling publicly, Mr. Beast. Yeah, they are everywhere, 100%. But it does seem to be like in religious figures, like they suppress, oh, especially like priests, so you can't marry, you can't have sex and all of that. It's like suppressing a natural thing from that people should do is somehow gonna fuck your mind up. Imagine that. And then all these people get caught diddling little boys and shit. So it's a weird thing. But anyway, that's a completely different conversation.
People thought I wouldn't talk about this.
But yeah,
I
they're
knew
popping up
Cody Ko
everywhere.
far more than I knew Ava Tyson. I talked to Cody Ko at length one time on his podcast, and then one other time in DMs. Ava Tyson, I met 1.5 times.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
After a poker game with Mr. Beast.
The Nickelodeon thing too.
Before I left, and then at the most recent Mr. Beast video, also right when I got out, Ava Tyson showed up, and I talked to them for a couple of minutes. But I never knew Ava Tyson very well. Cody Ko I did, and I still wasn't afraid to talk about how awful his shit was.
Yeah, that
so
Cody Ko, he got found out being a pedophile.
Shy away from a bad situation like this just because I know or am familiar with the person that it's about.
And
so I don't know why people thought that would be the case here.
And like a ton of Minecraft YouTubers, and especially like close to me, I didn't know any of these people, but I used to run like Smash Brothers tournaments here in Dallas and stuff. And like I used to be heavily in Smash community, and I love Smash Brothers, one of my favorite games of all time. But like a lot of them started getting called out, and it was like that community is like super fucked. It's gross how many communities have those people in them. So most of the time, like I said, it's either religious figures or like popular figures that have like kids that look up to them, and it's really fucking disgusting. And what I was saying earlier is that that the fucking artist that was drawing people, like I said, whenever he'd post something on Twitter, like he'd get thousands of likes, and that is more terrifying than anything.
And also, for the millionth fucking time, I'm not a journalist. I'm like the Z-tier stupid journalist, like this actual layman fucking CTE-riddled idiot that reports on stories. And
he's a YouTube commentator, much like I am.
In rare cases, and
better.
Recently it's been very common, there's serious stories that I am very passionate about delivering and talking about how shitty they are.
Nobody's a journalist
this isn't
here.
Really a story that I joke a lot about because it is serious. When there is a victim who is a child here, that's something to take seriously. But I'm not a fucking journalist. Most of the shit I talk about is the most inconsequential mumbo-jumbo ever, like aliens in warp drives, or that recent story about how scientists discovered hippos can fly because they get airborne for a split second, literally like
I heard about that.
They're able to get all four little legs off the ground.
Yeah, define
flight.
Talk
about those stories and joke about them. It's just talking about shit
it's
to joke
funny.
about it for the most part, except in cases like this where it is a serious story that I talk about. Now, Sneeko, I hope you're ready for the cold water here, because I'm going to be brutally honest with you. When this story broke, I thought for sure I would have actually bet money that you would have been some kind of contrarian talking about how this is actually not a big deal and everyone who's pretending to be outraged about it is actually just a hypocrite. Crusade for a while now about not
that Sneeko guy, like
consent. So I really thought you'd be talking
like
about how
going to bat for
this is
cuties.
just like Dr. Disrespect, who you ran hard defense for with this imaginary 17-year-old you cooked up in your head based off of one fake email from an anonymous source. And I thought you would be going that angle again, saying like, oh, well, that 13-year-old was probably very mature.
Age of consent should be maturity. It's not even 18 in most states. Why do you even believe that? It's because in Hollywood, it's 18, so that gets pushed everywhere. Most places, 16. And if you question that, then they call you a pedo. I believe the age of consent is the age of maturity. It should be called the age of marriage. Age of consent implies that you're gonna have out of wedlock. I think it's better that people get married at 16, 17 than to have a bunch of premarital until they're 30 and they're washed up and then they get jaded and they're on birth control and they have dried up eggs. I think that's better for society.
He's so pseudo-intellectual that he actually argues for things that defend pedophilia. That's fucking ridiculous. And when challenged on this, it's even worse. So there's an older clip now, it's quite a few months old, where XQC and Destiny actually challenge him on this right to his face, and holy shit, it's
I'd like
bad.
to see that.
You see how you want to answer the question? You see how he's going to yap and not answer the question?
Oh,
But
wait,
at
I
the same
think
time,
I
you're
have
done. Go
seen
ahead.
I
this.
just answered the question. I just told you.
What was the age?
I just told you at a developed age.
Sneeko thinks you should be able to fuck 9-year-olds. That's what Sneeko thinks, and he won't answer that question honestly. Or he's gonna have to give a different answer, in which case he's updated his morality. He's updated his views, and that's really uncomfortable for him. You don't have an answer to any of this shit, bro. Go back to fucking that fucking corner in London where you're getting roasted by year 1 debaters on fucking Christianity. This is retarded. I don't know what the fuck you're doing in here.
Okay, so you can leave the call. I wanted to go talk about this word.
I don't want to
and
leave
what
the call. I
issue
like
is.
hanging out here. I've talked to a lot of pedophiles in the past, so.
Okay.
I've asked Kris now.
Man, Destiny is like no chill.
I just told you. It depends on where you are. It depends on the world. It
Then
depends on
at what stage do you think
Kill
someone's
it!
developing?
No, kill it!
What stage
Stop running into me!
Because there's a lot of
It
stages of
varies.
development.
It varies. I
It
don't think there's a
varies.
specific-
Varies on
I
what?
think it
Oh,
varies on
fuck,
age.
god damn it. Fucking
There's on
piece
the
of shit.
age.
It's hard. That one's hard.
You need to have set ages for that. There are stages of development. As a child, an adolescent, and
You can hear him start to snivel in the background there as he's sucking up snot from his nose, getting cooked, and his brain is fucking overheating, malfunctioning, trying to formulate some kind of response to the easiest question in the world about what he thinks the age of consent should be. He keeps talking about the age of development and then can't even put a number on it. So everyone, please feel free to ask Sneeko what he thinks the age of consent should be if you want to see a human being fucking glitch out and malfunction like an Oblivion NPC. Can't answer the most basic question in the world. That is concerning. You realize how deranged that makes you look, Sneeko? That makes you look like an actual danger to society, that you don't agree with the age of consent and try and argue around it. That's what every pedophile ever that Chris Hansen talked to would do. Like, you're a fucking weirdo. So for you, of all people, this fucking putrid vermin, this absolute slimy worm, to have the gall to say that I only care about the Mr. Beast collab, thus this whole story is just relegated to, you'd never use that word, that word's too big for you. This whole story is just put
Got
on
him.
his second channel where no one's gonna see it because it's safer that way so he can keep the Mr. Beast collab alive. He's afraid, he's a coward for it. He has no problem abandoning his morals and defending blatant pedophilia, brushing it under the rug as long as it means it keeps the Mr. Beast collab alive. For you to make insinuations like that and even claims like that is fucking unhinged, considering
God damn it.
you make actual pedophile defense arguments
Yep.
constantly. And you have publicly put on the clown makeup and worn white knight armor complete with the shield to defend Dr. Disrespect when he himself publicly admitted to messaging a minor inappropriately. It's fucking insanity.
It is
It
weird.
makes me want to
Dude is weird. I don't know a lot about him,
but it became such a huge
from what I've
fucking
heard, it's
issue on
not
Twitter
great.
about me specifically that I felt the need to have to include this in this video, which should have been entirely focused on everything Ava Tyson has done and why it is so shitty. But now I've had to dedicate a sizable chunk to talking about these claims against me, about how I'm not going to talk about it and was not going to talk about it until pressure from Twitter
What are you
forced me
doing,
to,
Orion?
even though I had talked about it as it was developing and even mentioned on stream I was going to make a video on it. So to bring it all back to what should actually be the focus, the Ava Tyson situation and how horrible it is, I believe that it is an unforgivable thing that has been done. Talking to minors inappropriately is horrible. And having this kind of continued relationship with a minor where you're sharing edgy and inappropriate jokes back and forth and being in group chats and voice chats with children and saying gross things around them is so weird that it is not okay under any situation. It's disgusting behavior. And publicly supporting an artist who draws child porn and even owning art from that artist and talking about art like that and
Fuck!
revenge porn,
God damn it!
is very fucking bad. It's horrible. I'm not pulling any punches here on my feelings around it. So yes, I wanted to talk about this.
God damn
and
it!
That's really about it. See ya.
Okay. Interesting. A little bit of
When
new
Pokemon
information
came
there
to
that
the
I didn't
USA,
know. It's hard. It's difficult. Let's see. Let's see. We got more. Let's listen to. Okay, so I got a Thunderfoot video. We got a gamer from Mars, Milo Yiannopoulos. Gamer from Mars always puts out bangers. Six Flags Decade in a Review. I'm actually really interested in that. This is Six Flags Over Texas from 1970 to 1979. That's our Six Flags. I'm like super curious about that. And we have every AAA game should watch this video on targeting and market research. And then Wendigoon put out a video as well. Like, there's a bunch of shit that came out that I'm like pretty excited for. Let's watch the Milo Yiannopoulos thing. It's like 57 minutes. Maybe I'll beat that boss by the end of this. Probably not though.
For world issues, fighting back against the no-good SJWs, and memeing Donald Trump into the White House. But as we've seen, time has not treated these provocateurs the best, with one of the most notable examples being Milo Yiannopoulos. From being threatened at college campuses, denouncing his homosexuality, mooching off of billionaires, suing his book publisher, and running Kanye West's presidential campaign, he's lived an insane life over the past decade.
I only know a little bit about him.
I really couldn't find anyone that was able to break down the story behind this internet oddity and discover what he actually believes in, if anything at all. So I took that job into my own hands, and today I will share his insane story in depth. Mr. Yiannopoulos was born in 1984 as Milo Hanrahan. He grew up in Kent, south of England. After graduating high school, he enrolled at Manchester University pursuing a degree in literature. He left and completed 2 years at Cambridge before dropping out again in favor of an online career. His first foray was under the pseudonym Milo Andreas Wagner.
What are you doing, Orion?
A snapshot of his first site is from 2006, already advertising merch in a fan club. He created his own Wikipedia page, referring to himself as a published poet.
He created his own page.
The second, Eskimo Papoose, shared its name with his online photo gallery. He hoped to pitch a portfolio for publication near the end of 2008, but it never manifested. Eskimo Papoose was later called out for plagiarism. It was found that he lifted many lines without credit from musician Tori Amos. When confronted, he compared it to sampling music before.
Did he really just get Tori Amos's name wrong? Really? Come on, gamer from Mars, get your shit together. Amos? It's Amos. She makes pretty good music.
For dismissing it as a joke. Predictably, no one on the left got the joke, and they all still think I was serious. His final book under this original pseudonym was released in 2009. Milo's first job out of college was at a London-based magazine called The Catholic Herald. He did web design on the side, which became his inroad to journalism. In 2008, Damian Thompson published Counter Knowledge to examine how misinformation spread. Milo is acknowledged for continuing to fight online. Milo expertly identified problems of style and structure, and also created a website where bloggers can join the fight I have picked in this book. I'm very much in his debt. This caught the attention of The Telegraph, who brought him on for their technology blog. It was during this tenure that he started writing under the alias Milo Yiannopoulos for the first time. Here he published 9 articles from 2009 to 2011. They were written in his now typical style. He was inflammatory and abrasive, yet recognizable, quickly finding himself an audience.
Yeah, he was everywhere for a while.
How much attention people pay to Twitter, but the important thing to remember for celebrities is that they do have a responsibility to be careful what they say.
Until then, he made headlines for reasons you might not know about. In the days following Michael Jackson's death, Milo organized a mass moonwalk to honor his memory. He shared the idea on social media, going viral enough to constitute an impromptu flash mob. In 2011, Milo first appeared on the British television program at 10 o'clock live. He rather unconvincingly argues protesting doesn't work.
The key point to remember here is that protests actually don't work.
the only one in this country that's ever worked. I mean, we have
He's-
Egypt, which is an entirely different case. But
He's
in
not
this-
entirely
the only
wrong.
one that's
I
ever
actually
worked
don't
is
think
the
protesting
Protest never works.
most of the
All these
time doesn't
exceptions
work.
when
That May, he placed 84 on Wired UK's top 100 digital power brokers.
That may be a hot
Their
take, I
entry makes
guess.
note of Startup 100s, an award he launched with the Telegraph. The name was borrowed from their annual list of tech firms. They hosted and helped publicize the event, while promising it would end up severing their relationship. You see, Milo promised a series of sponsors.
God damn it!
Realized, forcing the paper to pay out of pocket. Then a judge revealed that the winner was changed behind their back. Despite the
About
chaos,
to throw my
the
computer out
spectator
my
did
window.
nothing to stop his momentum. After this, the young man left to start his own tech site called Kernel. He put together a team of established writers courted from other outlets. This caused issues later on as they were hired on salaries his company couldn't afford. Until then, their output was well regarded and he worked to bolster his own notoriety. In 2012, the UK was on the verge of legalizing same-sex marriage. Milo positioned himself as one of the most
I'm gonna go
visible
back and
opponents
look
in
for
several
like more
televised
health.
debates.
Because this isn't about equality. If it were a question of equality, then I would be all for it. But it's not really about equality. It's about redefining an institution that is the cohesive glue of society in a way that may yield consequences we have no clue about now.
When the bill passed, he reversed his position before announcing that he was engaged to a man. This got him nominated for Stonewall's Homophobe of the Year. Milo also drew ire for his very public spats on Twitter. He once got into a feud with blogger Zoe Margolis, who called him a sexist, misogynistic prick. He quickly responded, "We write about how tech is changing the world around us. You write about how many cocks you've sucked this week. Back off." This exchange
Shit.
allegedly cost him a major potential investment. While he was quick to dish it out, he couldn't always take it though. When he opened up about previous abuse, a person named Thomas mocked him. "Hey baby, I need a slap from a big strong man like you to comfort me." Milo blocked the user before publishing an article with his personal
Social
information.
media
He
was a
revealed
mistake.
Thomas worked at a school for autistic children, reaching out to his employers for
I
comments.
completely believe that.
Even his readers sided against him. This is not some valiant stand you're making against Twitter trolls. You got into a fight with people, and of course you refused to show the awful things you said, and now you're abusing your journalistic access to get revenge. It's childish. It's silly. It's not journalism. It's pathetic. While the
Milo
Kernel
Yiannopoulos
was successful enough to land Milo on Wired's 2012 list, they
Shit,
note
that
it
sounds
was
good.
unlikely to
We
be
could go for a
sustainable.
couple of
2
corn
months later,
dogs.
several writers sued his company over unpaid wages. They alleged a debt totaling more than £10,000.
And me like fuck up
They
beating
also
this
spoke
boss.
to the press about other internal issues. Milo expected me to work 7 days a week, around the clock. And when I declined, he got extremely agitated and started calling me names. He responded by intimidating anyone he suspected of talking. You've not only torpedoed your chances of ever having a career in journalism in London, but you're rapidly losing my sympathy as well. The Kernel shut down in 2013 following a High Court order to pay the tune of £16,853. It reopened a year later after he settled this debt. It was then he was acquired by the Daily Dot, with Milo stepping down as editor-in-chief. At this point, Milo was nothing more than a small name in the world of British op-eds. But that would soon change. It was around this time that Stephen Bannon recruited the provocateur for Breitbart, which would lead him to become a household name online, just at the cusp of some of the biggest political movements in online history. But before we go any further into this video, I'd like to give a shout out
Sponsor
to the sponsor,
time.
War Thunder. War Thunder is the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made, and is now available for free on PC and consoles. Take command of over 2,500 tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships of 10 major nations. Immerse yourself in the intense combat of War Thunder, where incredibly
up
detailed
there.
vehicles, realistic graphics, and authentic sound effects place you right at the helm of the most
Come
powerful war
on.
machines of our time. Join a worldwide community of over 70
Fuck.
million players
Okay, I
in
don't think I
epic
can get up there.
PvP battles today, and delve into the breathtaking experience that is War Thunder. I love how every vehicle is intricately modeled down to its individual components, like engines, fuel tanks, weapons, and crew, all susceptible to damage or disabling from
I
enemy
guarantee
fire.
you, Gamer from
Everything
Mars
works like their
probably has never
real-world
played this game in
counterparts.
his life.
And whether you want
Like,
a more
I
arcade
fucking
experience,
guarantee.
a simulator, or just flat-out realistic mode, this game has you covered. And the best part about War
There's
Thunder
no
is
way.
it's free to play on PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. On top of that, if you click the link in the description down below, you'll receive a massive bonus pack. This reward
like
is available
people
for new and returning
shilling,
players that haven't
Raid
played
Shadow
for
Legends.
at least 6 months. No matter your platform, you'll receive the exclusive vehicle decorator Eagle of Valor, 100,000 Silver Lions, and 7 days of premium account. But if you want all these rewards, it's a limited time offer, so please click the description down below to play War Thunder today. What needs to be understood is that Breitbart is an American media outlet.
What
known
game?
for its
War
right-wing
Thunder?
Perspective.
Or
Steve
Raid?
Bannon worked on Trump's 2016
Oh, okay.
campaign before becoming the White House's chief strategist. That was in no small part.
I'm not saying it's a
due to
bad
Yiannopoulos,
game either. I'm
who
just
first
saying, like,
appeared on
most
site
of
in
these
April
games,
2014.
I
Milo
doubt they'll
hit the
play.
ground running in this position, targeting feminism, Islam, and social justice. He contributed headlines like, "Birth control makes women unattractive and crazy." This vitriol, for the longest time, also targeted gamers, who he called a pungent beta male bullock scratchers. He argued video games were dangerous and linked to real-world violence. That incled denying
I mean,
Spring-killing
there's
Elliot
some, like,
Roger was misogynistic.
pretty good
Roger
free-to-play
was a
games
dorky
out there,
weirdo
I
for
think.
whom a video game
Just-
fantasy bled into
I
reality.
don't know.
There's no meaningful sense in which he was a misogynist. For those that don't know, Roger is notorious for ranting about women in his manifesto, notably spawning much of the modern incel movement. Regardless, Mr. Yiannopoulos elaborated on this thought in an article about virtual rape. There's no doubt violent video games play a part in deeds of some wackos, such as Elliot Killer Virgin Roger. Roger didn't kill because the video games made him violent, but the games did help shape his violent fantasies. They provided a framework through which his online bloodlust turned into real-world slaughter. As to whether a video game might make you any more likely to go out and commit a rape, the research says probably not. You were most likely going to do it anyway. Personally, I don't understand grown men wasting their lives playing computer games. His viewpoint would
feel
make a
personally
180
attacked.
change almost immediately after one single hashtag popped up on the internet. Hashtag Gamergate was a harassment
Oh,
campaign
yeah,
against women in
Gamergate.
gaming, or an online movement meant to address ethics in video game journalism, depending on who you ask. It was sparked by an affair between developer Zoe Quinn and 5 guys in the industry. The backlash intensified when prominent sites censored
I
any
never
discussion
really
of the
was,
scandal.
like,
Milo
into
wrote about
that.
the
I didn't
controversy
really
on
pay
September
attention
1st.
to it when it
Lying,
happened.
greedy,
I think I
promiscuous
was,
feminist
like,
bullies
working
are
on my
tearing the
thesis
video
or
game
something.
industry apart. It's easy to mock video gamers as dorky loners in yellowing underpants. Indeed, in previous columns, I've done it myself. But the more you learn about the latest scandal in the games industry, the more you start to sympathize with the frustrated male stereotype. This brought a staggering amount of traffic, which led to backlash over the movement's association with Breitbart. Milo replied with an open letter to gamers. He asked them to keep an open mind politically in their fight against a common enemy, and they welcomed him with open arms. There weren't many options, and he had a veneer of credibility. Milo adjusted fast, going live to play a video game for the first time in his life. They rallied behind him as he covered targets like Randy Harper.
Really? He
and
never
Anita
played a
Squeezy.
video
He was
game? I
involved
find
in
that hard
several
to
key
believe.
developments like the outing of Games Journos Pro. This one requires context, so bear with me.
But
After the
maybe, I don't
Gamergate
know.
hashtag was created, a series of articles were made declaring gamers were dead. The unanimity fueled suspicions of collusion. This is when Breitbart revealed the existence of a group called Games Journos Pro. Milo leaked all 150 participants, as well as numerous conversations and emails. While this was used to prove corruption, it's worth clarifying they didn't
shit.
always act as a cohesive unit. That did nothing to stop Breitbart from being cemented as an ally of the cause.
Here's a thing. I tried to put together a round table with a bunch of
Man, I
high-profile
miss Total
games journalists.
Biscuit.
Things were coming together, and then the Breitbart email leak happened, and everyone pulled out.
Milo continued fighting on Twitter with opponents like then gaming journalist Ian Miles Chong. He spent an entire day once calling
hate
Eve a
him
Nazi.
too.
This got his account
The
temporarily
guy's a
suspended.
fucking moron. He doesn't
However,
even live in
most
the
notable was
U.S.
his
and he's
coverage
like,
of
oh yeah, I
Gamergate
stand with
critic
Trump.
Sarah Nyberg. Through some digging, users found a
fucking
trove
moron.
of disturbing chat logs. Sarah can be seen fantasizing about preteens, including her own 8-year-old cousin. Milo published a lengthy expose on the accusations, which got over 1,000 comments. This led her to publish an article claiming she was a teenage edgelord. Sarah claimed that the logs were taken out of context, but she then refused to address specifics, admitting to have no interest in defending it. While this response was lackluster to say the least, it didn't matter as most of her supporters were willing to ignore the issue and move on, especially considering they despised most of her critics. There were many back and forths like this, to varying degrees of legitimacy. Milo became a face of the movement, starting a podcast and debating the subject on NPR. He was depicted alongside
on
names
NPR.
like Christina Hoff Sommers, Adam Baldwin, and the Internet Aristocrat. He even did voice work in DLC for the game Postal 2. Him getting involved in the gaming
That does
culture war
not
paid
surprise
off with
me
Breitbart putting him in
at
charge
all.
of their new technology section. By then, he was starting to hang out with his new friends and audiences
Yeah.
in person.
Okay, so I am doing a stream really drunk with some and then Milo Yiannopoulos. How's it
Hey,
going?
it's Vosh. I wonder if he has
It's
his
going
like
very well.
horse
You took
porn.
me, one direction and then another. It's clever.
I had no idea.
This is when he got his horse porn folder.
Don't try to lie.
That May, Milo organized an official Gamergate meetup with Christina Hoff Sommers. It was cut short by police over violent threats on Twitter. This repeated itself in August when they spoke to the Society of Professional Journalists. The org
Vosh.
hosted an event about the movement.
He had lolly
called
porn too,
hashtag
so he's kind of
SPJ
a fucking
Airplay.
terrible
They
person.
were forced to evacuate the venue after 6 consecutive bomb threats. The interruptions were useful as tangible examples as the necessity of free speech, as well as how far their opponents were willing to
You
go.
know where I'm
Milo
going.
claimed to be writing a book about Gamergate, but this never came to fruition. The movement had lost traction by late 2015.
Oh, yeah.
The internet provocateur was on the upswing, now sitting at over 130,000 followers.
Yeah,
on
he was
Twitter. He appeared on
everywhere
Joe
for a little
Rogan to
while.
recount a rather questionable story.
I don't want to be indiscreet about specific people.
Right, you don't
because
have to
I
do
think
that.
it's going
Just
to
dance
be
around the facts.
Yeah, dangerous. But I can tell you the truth without dropping anyone in it.
Okay.
I mean, some of the boys there were very young. Stature, as I say, and there were some very young boys around at that time. There was a lot of drugs and a lot of
Twinks.
A lot of twinks taking drugs and having unsafe sex with older men, and some of these boys were very young.
What did you think
desperate
about-
for a job, you know?
While this largely went unnoticed, the exposure had its downsides. In January of 2016, he was de-verified on Twitter. The exact reason was never given,
De-verified.
although it may have been for inciting harassment. The decision led fans to start a hashtag, and even petition the White House for its reversal.
There seems to be a very clear trend. My verification check was taken away for making jokes about the wrong group of people. Conservative commentators and journalists are being punished, being suspended, having their tweets deleted by Twitter. Facebook is, removing criticism of immigration in Europe.
At the end of 2015, the British Breitbart journalist promised an all-out war against social justice. This materialized as his Dangerous tour, in which he visited colleges across Europe and the United States. The premise sparked widespread student protests,
that's probably
with many
not good.
canceled before he began. The sheer outrage provided headline after headline of insanity.
Yeah,
It
you
was a
probably
very
don't want to
successful
title your
strategy,
tour that.
exploding Milo into the mainstream. One of his events with Summers and Steven Crowder spawned the meme Trigglypuff. It's all a very fascinating time capsule of the period. Milo stressed
It was
his
something.
Jewishness to deflect claims of anti-Semitism. He also had a bizarre defense for racism.
These people don't have arguments, they just yell out racist, and they call the gay guy here who has a fetish for black dudes a racist homophobe.
Yiannopoulos was a media darling, and hecklers were part of his brand. He reappeared on Joe Rogan in July and launched the merch line Swag by Milo, with designs
Ryan, what are
like
you doing?
white privilege, stop being poor, and stop being fat. The latter drew criticism after he took a photo of a man
Stop
working out
being
at the
fat.
gym to make fun of him on Twitter. I distinctly remember this tweet coming out
Oh,
and
God.
questioning the intention behind mocking a person who
The internet
was
is
self-approved.
wild.
Milo's best defense to this backlash was that obese people should exercise at home until they lose some weight before going to the gym, because he didn't want to see them. It was at this point you really had to question if he actually believed anything or was just being outrageous for the sake of being outrageous.
That's
Throughout
like
2016,
rage bait.
there was a lot of hate
There's no way
surrounding
that's
the
not just
all-female
rage
reboot
bait.
of Ghostbusters. This is when Milo got into a spat with one of its lead actors, Leslie Jones. He said, "You know you can stop playing that terrible hammy 80s black caricature now, right? Filming's over."
Jesus
she reported
Christ.
his account before leaving Twitter. The subsequent outrage resulted in Milo's permanent suspension. His audience mobilized and got #FreeMilo trending, but it fell on deaf ears. Many YouTubers tried
If
to
Elon had owned Twitter,
of success.
he would have been
Oh,
back.
he did imply that she was a man, but
She looks like a man.
she looks.
That's
she's
not
ugly.
racist.
She's just ugly.
She's
yeah, it's
ugly.
not racist. First of all, she looks like.
It goes without saying that these defenses have aged extremely poorly.
Yep.
Milo was so out of control at this point that he
Not
was
great.
sending out forged tweets claiming that they were from Leslie Jones when they weren't. If anyone on the opposite side of the aisle had done this, they would be asking for their head on a platter. But because it was Milo, this was merely a troll, bro. Also in 2016, Milo launched a scholarship for poor white men called the Privilege Grant. They raised over $100,000 in
Jesus.
funds, but after 7 months, it still wasn't dispersed. He claimed it was still in his bank account, and they planned to donate it in 2017. That March, Milo revealed the first 10 winners. They each received $2,500, the only amount ever given out before he shuttered the charity the next year. Now, I'm no mathematician, but $25,000 is a lot less than $100K. A month
Yeah,
later,
I
Milo
think that's
received
how
a
numbers
massive
work.
opportunity.
I think.
A $250,000 book deal from Simon & Schuster. With regular television appearances and constant viral clips, there was no slowing down his momentum. February 2017 began with violent protests following his presence at UC Berkeley. The riot is estimated to have caused $100,000 in damages, alongside the arrest of 11 people. Trump went so far as to threaten their federal funding. Milo was on top of the world,
Dude, I
getting
fucking
interviewed by
hate
Bill
America.
Maher on February 17th.
I fucking hate living here.
debate, you lose. Right. And if you don't,
It's so tiring.
And also, stop taking the bait, liberals. The fact that they all freaked out
Wasn't it
about this
pathetic?
little impish
It
British.
is so
It
utterly
didn't
just
seem like the internet-age
exhausting.
political commentator could be stopped. But then, 2 days later, the Reagan Battalion posted
Oh,
a
God.
clip that would end up destroying his career.
No. You're misunderstanding what pedophilia means. Pedophilia is not a sexual attraction to somebody 13 years old who is sexually mature. Pedophilia is attraction to children. To children who have not reached puberty.
You are advocating for cross-generational relationships here. Can we be honest about that?
Yeah, I don't mind admitting that.
The video originated from the Drunken Peasants podcast in the summer of 2016, run by The Amazing Atheist. As it turns out, there was a $250,000 hit put out by other conservatives to take him down as they didn't like where he was pulling their side of the political spectrum, with this appearing to be
That's
the end
funny.
result of their effort. Milo was instantly dropped over his comments on pedophilia, receiving widespread mainstream coverage. He was disavowed by pretty much everyone, from CNN journalist to Bill Maher, who took credit for his downfall. Sarah Nyberg even stepped forward to take a victory lap. He got disinvited from CPAC, and his book deal, now named Dangerous, was subsequently cancelled. This led Milo to upload a video addressing the controversy, explaining he was a victim of abuse.
I think my record speaks for itself, and the portions that were
Come
edited out of the videos that
on.
you've seen show, for instance, me saying that I agree with the current age of consent, that I support, I support the current age of consent.
Get out of
That's,
here.
quote,
Like,
about
what the
right, end
fuck?
quote.
This still didn't suffice, as half a dozen Breitbart
Yeah.
employees threatened to quit if he wasn't removed, resulting in his resignation. He would remain in the US with a new media venture, and while he didn't completely disappear, he had a reduced presence after the scandal. There was brief talks with another publisher, but that
He like
deal
came out
fell
as
well.
straight
Then
or
on the 4th
something
of July,
too.
he self-published the long-awaited Dangerous. The book quickly became a New York Times bestseller. It drew a lot of publicity with his antagonism of Barnes & Noble, as well as complaints over his public Metro ads. If that wasn't enough, Milo filed a $10 million lawsuit against Simon & Schuster. He accused the publisher of breaching their contract in bad faith. As you can imagine, they called his suit meritless and publicity-driven. That January, Milo's lawyer withdrew, citing a breakdown
100%.
in the relationship. This occurred shortly after the editor's notes of his book.
He did like
leaked.
anything to
Let's
get back
leave
into
waste
people's
analogies
favor.
out of this chapter. This entire
And whenever
paragraph
people
is
start
just
like
repeating
filing
fake
these
news.
types of
There
lawsuits,
was
that's
no
it.
blood,
They're
no
done.
semen, and there was no Satanism. Delete. Milo began representing himself and withdrew the case entirely 2 months later. It was dismissed without costs or fees to either party. Simon & Schuster upheld their decision. In the meantime, Milo got married to his boyfriend, John, in Hawaii. It provided a rare glimpse into his personal life, which he usually obfuscated. What many people wondered, though, was how exactly he was still getting his money. Well, in July of 2017, it was revealed that a big reason he was able to become famous so fast was
go in
funding from
here.
the hedge fund billionaire
Oh.
Robert Mercer.
Okay.
The Mercer family had investments in Breitbart, Cambridge Analytica, and Donald Trump. They continued offering Milo financial and legal support for his visa. The supposed distance from Breitbart after his fall from grace was also called into question. He got help from their editor-in-chief to set up his own company, Milo Inc. This was only the beginning, with BuzzFeed managing to obtain their internal documents. You see, at the time it was important for Milo to have separation publicly from overt racists.
Not feeling the Milo thing, sorry. I'll watch it on my own. I don't really care that much about him. I thought he did some crazy shit, but I've already heard all this, so. Let's see. Let's see what Young Yeah has to say.
There's a lot of things you can say about Nintendo, but
Yes,
you
there
cannot
is.
deny that the company has some of the wisest and most creatively driven game developers in the entire industry. They just have this like philosophy to game making that I think so much of the industry could learn more from and apply. And among the most well-known names at Nintendo is Masahiro Sakurai, who is the developer.
Pretty
Super
sure
Smash Brothers, the creator. And
doesn't
the
technically
lead
work for
on Super
Nintendo.
Smash Brothers. And recently he released this video.
He's like
titled
contract
Targeting
worker.
and Market Research that discusses its efficacy and or its downfalls. And I think this is a video that a lot of AAA publishers and those chasing trends and live services and those who are kind of aiming to replicate other developers' successes should watch, because I think he absolutely nailed it on the head here discussing this particular topic. And there's a level of wisdom here and a level of caring about innovating when it comes to making games that I think is just really respectable. So this is a 4-minute long video that I kind of want to check out with you guys so I can show you what he said and what the industry could learn from this. So here we go.
Imagine your game.
Also,
Okay,
I
here.
love this channel.
Let's like actually watch
Also,
this.
soccer around creating games. A lot of great knowledge.
主に年齢と性別あるいは思考などで区分されます。同じようにソフトがどの層に支持されているのかマーケティングによって緻密に
Okay, similarly, market research can give us detailed data on which demographic software is doing
綿
well.
密にデータ化されています。任天堂の作品に
You'd be amazed at the precise data Nintendo's gathered regarding their titles.
つまり支持が厚いターゲット
Consider an audience that strongly
Market
supports
research is
certain
not
projects.
unimportant.
Honing in on the audience and compensating weaker sectors is what they call targeting.
あるいは弱い層を補って商品を売るのがターゲティング。
But over relying on it
傾向を調べるのがマーケティング。
Investigating trends among those audiences is called market research, right? Investigating trends among those audiences, right? Okay. So they're targeting these like core people, I guess that's what you'd call them. And the market research. Yeah, okay. This is like what they call accuracy versus precision. It's like a big thing in science.
sort of that eventually becomes the point, and you'll see in a minute.
It's more to the terms than that, but that's a broad overview.
でもな
Though,
ターゲッティングやマー
I
ケティ
don't
ング
have any objections to targeting or market research, of
けど
course.
Here we go.
個人的には真面目に考えても仕方が
But
な
I
いと
personally feel that we shouldn't get too hung up on these kinds of things.
もちろんそれが
Practices
非常
can
に
be
有効な
very
業界もあり
effective
ます
in
が
some
特にゲ
industries.
ームの企画を新しく考えよ
But
う
if you're trying to think of new game ideas, I'd recommend not taking them too seriously. Right, then you turn into a Ubisoft or something that pumps out the same shit over and over and over and over and over and over and over again.
真面目に捉えないことをお勧めしますターゲティングやマーケティングっていうのは既存のものから想定するデータです、これからの道を示してくれるわけ
They don't show the path on what
That's
comes
right.
next.
境界線が
True.
とても曖昧です可愛いものが好きな高齢者だっ
Some
ているし
older folks like cute things, some kids prefer more intense content. Right, because, well, that's easy, right? Because the older folks like to think back when they were young and they want to be younger and everything's going to be more pleasant, cute, if you will. While young kids like to be older, they want to play the mature games and like shoot people and stuff. So, yeah, of course.
思います決してどこかで線引きでき
You
る
can't draw clear lines between these groups.
All right,
of
so I'm
course
going
not.
to pause real
Fair enough.
quick and talk about some of what he said. He said we shouldn't rely on market research too much because it ultimately just talks about or presents data on existing ideas. And if you base your game development on those existing ideas and what market research says about those, instead of kind of treading new ground and walking on uncharted territory that could essentially kind of lead to new market research that could highlight the success of something that others didn't think about, you're not innovating. You're just trying to chase the shadow of something. You're trying to.
This is 1,000,000% why we haven't gotten any new MMOs. All MMOs have been effectively the same thing that WoW did since 2004. Like, almost entirely, MMOs have been like this. Go to this zone, level up 10 levels. Go to this zone, level up 10 levels. Rinse and repeat until you're max level, then go and raid shit. That's pretty much every fucking massively multiplayer online game. There are exceptions. Black Desert Online, EVE Online, sure. But when are we going to get like a new... Like, we haven't gotten a new MMO in so long. Like, something that really shatters what MMOs are.
Be the success of something that already exists. And that's what we see a lot of companies doing right now. And sometimes it works and, you know, they make a lot of money off of a genre that suddenly became popular.
Yeah.
But
I've been following Ashes of Creation for like 15 years. That's like a little hyperbole, but I honestly don't think Ashes is ever going... I don't think it'll come out by 2030. Because what? They started in like 2012? I think Ashes is exactly like Star Citizen in that it's going to be a permanent money funnel. What they promise is amazing, but they're still in alpha. Like, actually, literally, after like 10 years, they're still in alpha. I honestly don't think that game is going to come out at least until 2030, if not longer. And I hope to be wrong, by the way. Make me wrong. But I hope, you know, Guild Wars 1 kind of pushed the boundary in the fact that there was only level 1 through 20. They are moving forward. So is Star Citizen. I don't think it will ever be a reach a release date, and every time, yeah, a game shouldn't be in alpha 2 after that long being in development. Like, it just shouldn't. Like, when did they start? First announced on December 2016. That was 8 years ago. And they're only in alpha after 8 years. Like, Nintendo made Tears of the Kingdom in 5, and that game is fucking massive. Like, I hope I'm wrong. It just, every time I talk to them, like, do we have any kind of release date? It's not multiplayer, though, no, but I mean, we have, you know, how many WoW expansions? How many of these other things, like Black Desert Online? Fuck No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky is super massively multiplayer. It's just, that's a long time. And only in alpha? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. 8 years in alpha? Absolutely. Well, yeah, No Man's Sky is an MMO for sure. But No Man's Sky is the largest game ever created. But like, if you announce something, it needs to have at least some kind of roadmap, like something. Something. And every time I go and like I try and talk to them, I get fucking annihilated on Twitter by asking when is a release date. Not even a date, like a window. And I give it like, is it this decade? Like I'll say that, like, can we expect this before 2029? And I just get fucking shit on by people that are like, oh, it'll come out when it comes out, blah, blah, blah. It's like, dude, I am literally just asking for this decade. Like, and I'm the same way with Star Citizen. I like Ashes of Creation, their node system and all that. It's great. But like, dude, you can't have a game of perpetual development like this. Like, you just can't, because you're gonna lose. I mean, maybe when it comes back out, or like when something big happens, but I don't know. Anyway, the point is, like, nobody fucking cares about Ashes anymore like they used to, because it's taken too long. And maybe whenever it's about to come out, then they'll drum up more excitement for it, and I'm sure that'll happen. But like, the whole point is that we need something new. Exactly, yeah. It's a scam. And go online and say Star Citizen is a scam, and you will get annihilated by all the people that have spent thousands of dollars of money on there. And it looks great, don't get me wrong. But here's my metric on this. And I'm the only one I've ever heard talk about this, is how many people have died waiting for your game in the development cycle of the game? Oh yeah, you shouldn't expect anything AAA to come out that's even halfway decent. Because what we're watching right now, it's too much market research and retreading the same ground over and over and over and over and over again. But yeah, but I think of like how many people have died waiting for this game to come out. And I know that's like a super morbid thing, but like, it's a weird thing to think about. But like, you gotta, there's a point when you have to call it and release the game. You just have to. Yeah, Nintendo 100%, like, super high quality, yeah. In the last 5 years, 2019 till now, Square Enix, I would say. No, no. I mean, their Final Fantasy games fucking top tier, but they put out some real fucking shitty games. Like Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Or Marvel, whatever whatever it was, Avengers. I'm trying to think. I mean, No Man's Sky, but there's not like a AAA studio. Like, what do I have on here? Like Minecraft, I guess, but that's technically are just updates. Elden Ring, that's like probably the another one that I would say is like everyone loves. Something that's maybe not microtransaction-y, free to play. Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. No Man's Sky is fucking jewel of the internet of the gaming world. Final Fantasy 14 has been just top tier. Final Fantasy 14 and No Man's Sky had a similar redemption arc. But yeah. Like I said, I think what I've seen of Ashes of Creation is awesome. And I want them to fucking prove me wrong and release that game next year. I want them to rub it in my face and be like, look, we did our shit and here's the game, motherfucker. Do it. Bring it on. Make me feel like shit. I dare you, Ashes of Creation people. Fucking do it.
Those genres slowly become more and more saturated, and market research will tell you, well, if you make a certain type of hero shooter, a certain type of battle royale, a certain type of shooter, whatever, a certain type of live service, then the potential of making money is tremendous. But if you're not there first, if you don't stand out from the pack, if you just chase trends and you are pretty, not awful, but over.
I hope not. And I'm actually not even saying that they're like false promises. I'm not saying anything Ashes is saying is false. I'm just saying it won't release. And at some point, you've got to release something. Like you just do. We're nearly into 2025, right? We're halfway, a little more than halfway done. We're about to head into August. Like, you just gotta cut it at some point and put it out and then innovate there. Because I really don't want to see it go down the Star Citizen route, and I'm getting that feeling. Because, again, after 8 years, you're on your second alpha. That's not good. I mean, what... But then again, like, what the fuck is an alpha or a beta or like early access? Because most people, early access is just the game. That's all it is. They're like, no, we're still developing the game. I don't know if they crowdfunded. I have no idea. But like early access, people are going to play it and then it's going to get shit on. And then like sometimes betas are exactly the same thing as the game coming out. Like a beta is effectively just playing the game early, which is like muddied between early access. Like what is early access? Is it an alpha? Is it a beta? Is it something? Like all of those terms are super blurry now. They used to mean something. But then like I used to get into a lot of betas. Like I got in the closed beta of like EverQuest 2 and stuff, and they changed a lot, but now people are like, they'll shit on a game because it's in beta, and then you'll have like the White Knights come and defend it like, oh well, this is just a beta, it's not actually released. But we all know, like, when the game releases, it's going to be effectively almost exactly like the beta. The old Ultima Online? Yes, I did. A little bit before the first EverQuest came out. And then I got onto EverQuest and fell in love. And EverQuest is still going strong. EverQuest is like 25 years old or some shit now. You can still play Ultima Online. Ultima Online was fucking amazing. But they have shards up still, I'm pretty sure. Fuck, I'd play it. Yeah, you can actually still play it. You can play it for free now, like just legitimately just for free. It's not some kind of like it's not some kind of like mass market microtransaction shit. Can you just like I'm looking at it right now. This might be something I look at. It just says play for free now. This is, oh my god, like, it's wild that you mentioned this. This is, holy shit. New Legacy beta? Since the release of gameplay trailer, the response has been overwhelming. We're gonna get back to the other video in a minute. Hold
For
on.
the first time in more than half a century, a moon gate has opened deep in the forests of Aklo. Strangers pour through hoping to forge a legacy to be remembered for generations to come. Are you with us? Let me take you on a journey through Ultima Online New Legacy, our new shard emphasizing a classic Ultima RPG experience. The world is different. In this Cesaria, Mondain was defeated, but the realm never united around a king, leaving the lands fractured, dangerous. You emerge through the strange moon gate and are drawn towards a friendly bard. Your first choice is, what will your house name be? But choose wisely. Your house name will persist with all your characters in New Legacy. After you pick your house name, you'll notice the brand new quest objective system in New Legacy. This quest objective screen will both tell you what your current task is and also help navigate you in the right direction. Once we meet the mayor of Aklo, he will give me a nice map and send me on quests to get to know the town. One of my stops is to the portrait artist to get my portrait painted.
This is still actively being developed on.
But I think my portrait
Holy
could look a little bit
shit.
more like me. Yeah, that's the face of a hero. Make sure you talk to people in Aklo. They may have interesting things to tell you. It's been nice to see what's out there, but it's time to choose. At the Albatross Inn, you choose the path that will define your legacy. The Warriors Guild, the Arcana Circle, or the Crafting Guilds. Choose wisely, because some things can't be undone. I know my heart is full of fire. I want to fight. I'm choosing the Warriors Guild. Once selected, I see that I've got something new to wear, a metal sash, and also a new journal. This journal will record my heroic deeds as I advance through New Legacy, and the sash displays those
I
awards
might have
to
to.
others.
I might have
For
to
now, both are
be
empty.
playing this
But
tomorrow.
let's remember to check back later. Now that I'm in the Warriors Guild, it's time to earn my keep. I've been told to go help Henry.
I'm a fucking boomer. I love old RPGs.
Not exactly the most legendary of quests, but we all start somewhere. Looks like this rat problem is pretty bad. The further in I go, the bigger they are. This is a milestone quest, and you'll notice that with each successful quest completed, my skills are raising. No rest for the weary, as my next task is to deal with a little undead situation in the Aklo Cemetery. These skeletons are no match for Bill the Bold. Further into the crypt, I find a cavern of falling rocks and an ancient reliquary. After touching the reliquary, a force of skeletons and zombies appear, trying to destroy the tomb. This kind of point defense mechanism is new to Ultima Online. It's been a tough fight, and the tomb took a beating, but Bill the Bold
I
prevailed.
cannot believe they're still
After exiting the
developing on
tomb,
this.
I meet the ancient spirit where I get my reward, a sword and a shield worthy of the hero. As I touch the convergence catalyst, I have a choice to make between branching narratives before entering the wider world. The path of the warrior or the path of the ranger.
Cool.
I've still got the fire in my heart, so it's the path of the warrior for me. But
I'd
don't
go
worry.
ranger.
If you're looking for something more, there will be opportunities later on to learn animal taming, play instruments as a bard, learn
What?
the ways of the assassin, or
Do they have a
unlock the
saxophone
ability
in
to
here?
Customize your skills as you see fit. We've now left Aklo behind and have entered in the wider world. But look, my deeds in Aklo have been recorded in my journal under that handsome portrait. Jumping ahead a bit, in Ultima Online New Legacy, skill gain is rewarded by completing quests. The daily quest system allows you to choose your own adventure, earning skill for defending resources, attacking brigands, and more. Do enough of these daily quests, and your character will advance in the main storyline. Also new is an expanded PvP system that gets your guild into the action fast. I've been adventuring for a little while, and I've collected a ton of interesting loot. Veterans of Ultima Online will remember the excitement of finding named vanquishing or powerful items back in the day.
Yep.
This system is back in New Legacy as item identification reveals a weapon or armor piece's true worth.
See, what I love about old RPGs like this is that, like, compared to Diablo or something, like Diablo 4, not 1, like, loot and shit just doesn't drop, like, by the fucking billions. It's like, shit that drops means something. Like, if you get a magic weapon, like, that's a big fucking thing that has just been lost on, like, modern RPGs that are just go. And I love Diablo 4. I like all of Diablo, but, like, I really like Diablo 1 as well, and that was very slow. But whenever you found something that was like a gold weapon or whatever, like that, like what he's voice, like mousing over it, that was like a big thing. Not just like something to throw in your bag and to just like disassemble and do whatever. Like, we don't have those games anymore.
My time in the Warriors Guild has honed my skills, and I've been dispatched to the Pride of the Navy, the Courageous, to fight off these dread pirates.
This is fucking cool.
Experiences like the fight aboard the Courageous punctuate major milestones in New Legacy, and there are these kinds of newly crafted experiences for each path you take. If fighting isn't for you, take up the role of the crafter. Swing a smith's hammer to forge weaponry for those brave enough to challenge Garthok the champion. Meanwhile, the Arcana Circle of Moonglow bends their power against an evil cult of spellcasters. Will you unravel the plans of the Shadow Reavers and reveal their deceit? Will you weave threads of magic or outfit the Lyceum with cloth and leather to stop their sinister plot? Or will you take up the bow and put your tracking skills to the test as you uncover the source of the demonic fiends ravaging the lands near Scarabray? Will you instead pick up your axe and outfit the Rangers League with the tools to vanquish this demonic presence for good? With the new resource bank, harvesting resources and crafting is fast and fun. As the seasons in New Legacy turn, different activities become available.
Oh wow, they have a
Fair
seasonal
to a regatta
thing?
hosted by the Moonglow Yacht Club.
Oh, I
New
fucking
Legacy
love
also offers a
season
revamped
stuff.
housing system, an updated guild experience, and more. Build a
Still
bold
got
as Quest
housing.
conquered and had a ton of classic Ultima fun. But will it be enough to forge his legacy before time runs out? Join us in Ultima Online New Legacy. Find out more at uo.com.
Wow, 2024. It is amazing.
I just spent a year of my life trying to secure a free
that you brought that up. I would have never known about this. Holy shit. And is this free? It seems like it's just free. Like, no monthly anything. It's just a free thing. It just says play for free now. Already subscribe, like... I'm not gonna, here, install FAQ. Some music. Is Ultima Online free? Is there any, the official servers have a free-to-play experience, but the restrictions, there are restrictions. Housing banking is definitely enough to get a good look at the game and see if you like it and want to play without the restrictions. The full game without these is subscription-based. Okay, you have a pretty strong community of free servers. Those are all free, usually with donation rewards. You owe outlets. See, I played on a community server, private server. And they're pretty easy to get into. Wow, man, you just fucking brought up... Yeah, EA did buy them out quite a long time ago. You brought up like a blast from the past randomly. Yeah. Holy shit. That was a big tangent, but definitely worthwhile. Did not expect to look up fucking Ultima Online shit tonight, but I'm glad I did.
We're all
Anyway.
substandard at everything
Let's see.
you do.
Let's go.
And it's just essentially a different aesthetic for something that already exists that has had more time to flesh itself out, to become more feature complete, and you're coming in trying to compete with those guys, your game's most likely to fail. And I feel like that's kind of what's happening with Concord, which is this hero shooter that is not bad by any stretch of the imagination. It's just
not Overwatch,
so unimaginative in terms of innovation. It came in too late. It doesn't do...
The one thing I am like super mad about, and especially the way that Overwatch has gone, I love Overwatch to death, but they have just fucking fumbled everything about it. There was a game that came out called Battleborn when Overwatch did. Battleborn was a kind of a different thing, but it was like a hero shooter type of deal as well. But like, Battleborn came out the same weekend that the Overwatch beta launched, and Battleborn sold like nothing. And looking back at it, like hindsight's 2020, I really, really wish Battleborn had survived where Overwatch had failed. I would much rather have Battleborn right now. It's the big, what do they call it, 800-pound gorilla in the room that Overwatch was, being from Blizzard. And now the state at which Overwatch is in, Battleborn wasn't like the best game ever, but it had really, really, really fascinating ideas that they could have iterated on. But now that'll never happen, and we have this fucking shitty free-to-play Overwatch, like, gouging games. I mean, Overwatch is fine, like, it's probably one of the better free-to-play games, because it's all cosmetic that they want you to buy, but still, I would have much rather had Battleborn. Anyway.
Aside from, like, you know, the heroes and the aesthetic and all that being its own unique thing, the overall game format, what you're playing is essentially a less feature-complete version of something like Overwatch. You think about all the live services that have shut down recently, and it's all a result of either the quality not being high enough or the concept not being exhilarating and innovative enough. Or
yeah, like I've said this a million times, but like there was a good long while where like every day for like 8 hours after like work or whatever, I would get on. I had like a static group of people. We'd all log in at the same time. Like every fucking night we'd play competitive. In fact, I have you have played Overwatch, right? So I was looking through one of my channels not too long ago, and okay, so you know Symmetra. I used to be a Symmetra player. She's been like 3 completely different characters since then. But this is whenever it was very early on in the series, and I did probably the best play I've ever done in my life. When I was like going real hard at it. This takes me back. This is a long time ago. Hey, it's whenever I put effort into like shit. I made all of this shit myself. It's a different lifetime ago. So this is me streaming like 8 years ago. Let me turn it up.
Fuck. Like that, bro? It's not me. You guys aren't with me.
Shit makes me want to cry. Like that's so long ago.
But let's just go in here and get them to use ults, then do the teleporter thing.
So, yeah. So we're getting our ass handed to us.
Alright,
And this is when Symmetra's teleporter was like, you lay it down and then you get to warp in from the spawn room, right? So, I have teleport right now. So I'm still like, you know, going behind them, trying to be sneaky. And I'm killing quite a few, dude. I am. Oh, I'm dead. Sorry.
Damn it.
Yeah, I was gonna put it in that little room, but... It's really... It's so good. It's so fucking good. So everybody, everyone is like dead.
You guys don't have. You guys don't have health.
Alright, yeah, let's. Wait in the
It's worth it.
wait in the spawn room. Andrew's going.
I don't know who this Andrew fellow is.
I got nano.
Hey, can you like? That was my brother-in-law at the time. He always played Diva, right? So, can one of y'all like sacrifice yourself and like let me? do
Okay,
that?
yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that. I'll do that.
So my brother-in-law, who is named Andrew, which is definitely also not my name. I was like, hey, can one of y'all like go in there, sacrifice yourself, like draw them off to the side so they don't see me coming around back. I don't want them to see me.
Yeah, just wait in the spawn room, guys.
So our whole team is just waiting in their
Where are
spawn.
you? Come here.
So look. Their whole fucking team is dealing with the Diva player, my brother-in-law. They have no idea. And I go in this little room.
Oh my god.
Alright guys, go.
Yeah, we're ready.
Go.
They never saw it coming.
That Mercy's gonna go.
They had no clue. He throws all the ults out behind him.
Let you
Give a
ride.
fuck that my teleporter's under attack. They're trying to find the teleporter.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh. Get him. Get him.
It's a fucking like Trojan horse play. It was so good. I literally have goosebumps right now watching it.
Nice teleporter. Oh my god.
That's our fucking plan. It was so good. It was the best play I've ever done.
Why can't that be like play of the game? That should be play of the game.
We're about to get reported for this.
Oh man.
Oh my god. Oh shit. Oh my god.
That is how Overwatch is supposed to be played. When your team works together and everyone knows what they're doing, it is possibly one of the most fun games ever created. Whenever you're playing solo and just queue with randos, it is one of the most frustrating games ever created. But when you got people bouncing shit off of one another, like you're kind of on the same wavelength, so good. Yeah, I have that on. Yeah, I have that on. I have that recorded.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It was a long time ago. Like every night, I'd have my team, man. It was so fun. Anyway, we're really gonna get back to the video now.
Or it's a matter of them just trying to replicate something that already exists, and people going, why would I want to play this new thing when we've already got the better version of it? And sometimes
He's right about that too. That's exactly what I think about with City Skylines 2. They have updated it, but like even now that it's a decently functional game, why would I ever want to play City Skylines 2 when I have City Skylines 1 with like 20 fucking expansions that does everything and more that Skylines 2 does, except for maybe a few things? Like, that's always the value proposition, where it's like, okay, what in this game is better that I can do that this other game doesn't have? And is it worth it? Which is usually not. Like,
certain developers add a twist to the genre that makes it compelling enough where it draws attention and stuff like that.
Yeah,
can happen.
exactly. 100%.
But generally, this kind of trend chasing leads to a certain downfall that comes from the over-reliance on what market research says about what can make you the most money. You know, what's the thing that will appeal to a massive audience? But to approach it from that perspective, that's just a flawed way to, try to innovate. When you...
It's banking off the fact that it's new. It's new, therefore it's better. That's what they want you to think.
Think about some of the best games ever made and some of the most successful games ever made. They didn't come into it with a perspective of what does the market research say. They came into it with a perspective of what's fun for us.
Yeah.
What do we want to
Elden
make?
Ring,
What do we want to
for
say
example.
with our video game? And what are we trying to do that to make an experience that's new and unique and fun, and then let that sell itself instead of relying on trying to replicate a success, using data or whatever. Just like if you speak from the heart and appeal to people's hearts in terms of what they know to be fun and what kind of experiences they perceive as compelling, based on just.
Yeah, nothing's ever gonna beat Fortnite in Battle Royale category. And their marketing team is second to none as far as like making deals with these different brands, Marvel, Star Wars, everything. They have like every fucking major IP ever created is in Fortnite. It's ridiculous.
Just the kind of game that these developers make that they themselves would want to play and hope that other people resonate with, then that's when you get, some of the biggest successes. And he also delves into targeting specific age groups and specific whatever. And the way he talks about how those lines can be blurry, I think is really great. Look, SpongeBob SquarePants, you look at that show and it looks like it's for kids, but guess what? A lot of adults still like SpongeBob SquarePants. Just because something looks cutesy and, looks like it might be for kids doesn't mean it specifically appeals to kids.
SpongeBob turned 21 like this year or last year. It's been on the air for 21 fucking years. Maybe even more. That may have been last year. It's wild to think about.
And in equal measure, just because something is darker and grittier doesn't mean it won't appeal to a younger audience, I'm sure if you look at the audience base of something like, I don't know, Elden Ring or Baldur's Gate 3, yeah, sure, a lot of those are adults, but there are probably a lot of younger folks too who play those games and partake in them and are discovering just a new experience that they really enjoy, and plenty of people who you think these kinds of games won't appeal to are probably playing these games because word of mouth spread about just how great they are, what an enthralling and just unique experience that only that development studio could make. They offer. And so let's continue watching this video.
子供もいます。決してどこかで線引きできるものではありません。例えば、初代星のカービィは初心者層に向けているゲームですが、私が子供向けなどといったことはありません。初心者には当然のように大人
Beginners, yeah, it's not a game for children. Normally children are going to be less skilled simply just by the fact that they're children, but Kirby's fun. Who doesn't like Kirby, It is easier, but it's not like a...
Yeah, very true.
強いて言うならターゲティングは初心者ということになります。年齢ではないですね。
Yeah.
ただ初心者向けといえどそれなりの手応えがあるし、上級者が操作感を楽しむために遊ぶこともあると思います。
Exactly. It's got a low, it's like a low barrier to entry, but you can be incredibly skillful. Like those are the best kind of like speed run games too.
また、マーケティング
So, yeah, I think that's a really great way to put it. You look at a FromSoft game that's designed for more experienced gamers, people who are, more comfortable with just more complex inputs and concepts in gaming, and tons of people bought games like Elden Ring and, the Souls games and whatnot, because there are a lot of people now who have played enough games that they're able to kind of seek a greater challenge. But, if I wanted a game that appeals, to both, someone like me who's more experienced with games, but also someone who hasn't played games as much and just needs simpler inputs, that's how I think that's where Nintendo gets that magic sauce of when you look at the likes of.
And sometimes whenever you're playing a game, you don't want to be fucking sweaty all the time. Sometimes you just play a game to like fucking chill and stuff. Doesn't have to be like super fucking heart pounding every time.
Mario Party and even games like Splatoon, which took the shooter concept and made it a bit more accessible, or Mario
Love
Kart
Splatoon.
even.
Never
And
got
how many
Splatoon 3,
people
though.
play that game who normally don't play a lot of video games, or hell, even Super Smash Brothers? You know, that's one of those games where, like, if I booted up Tekken, only a certain crowd, a niche crowd of, or not niche, but like a crowd of like people who've like really mastered that game, or at least partaken in it enough to be able to be.
Let's be real, it's niche. Every fighting game is niche. Like, you have the entirety of gamers, and then you have a subset of that that enjoys fighting games. And then you have a subset of those people who enjoy their specific franchise of fighting games. No, it absolutely is niche. 100%.
Competent would play that game. Super Smash Brothers simplifies the controls and the inputs enough where you can kind of get away with not being an expert in fighting games, but still do stuff. But there's still room for a gap in expertise. You know, there's a huge skill gap between, you know, people who have mastered Smash Brothers and those who just kind of engage in the basic moves. So it appeals to those who are.
It is basically the most quintessential, easy to learn, hard to master type of game. That's why Smash Bros. Everyone fucking loves Smash. Except for, like, obviously there's always contrarians. It's not an actual fighting game. You're a baby if you're not playing Street Fighter 6 on the highest top tier, god tier level. Like, shut the fuck
beginners, but also experts, and it's this great kind of accessible kind of a game. But not everything has to be that. Tekken 8 is its own thing, and it appeals to that particular crowd. So designing games in the perspective of, like, how broad of an appeal do you want it to have based on its difficulty requirements, and then instead of over-relying on market research and just ultimately going, what kind of game do we want to make that's just, like, really cool and unique, that doesn't follow and chase trends, that's just like this idea that somebody had that makes you go, ooh, that's interesting. Nobody's tried that. Let's go for it. That's when you get those magic sauce games that go on to become landmarks in the history of gaming.
Right.
Let's watch further. I love this video. It's 4 minutes long, but it has so much insight. There's a lot said in few words.
It's a bit loud. Okay.
Yes, correct. That's exactly right. Chasing trends. Nothing that's innovative. That's right.
And it takes a special kind of person to do that. Like, and then, like you said, Nintendo is so good. Like, Sakurai, I mean, imagine coming up to somebody and, like, I want to make this fighting game where you don't really kill anyone. Like, there's no, like, life bar or HP or anything like that. Be like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's like, no, you hit him off the stage. Nobody ever, like, actually dies or whatever. It's completely different.
More average and mediocre.
Man, I want to play Smash now.
Less. And then right here we have a segment where Sakurai basically highlights the issue of oversaturation and how when everyone starts chasing the same trend, that whole trend starts to die. It just starts to become too much, and the lack of innovation makes that trend eventually start to become boring and harder for new titles in that particular trend or who are chasing that trend to succeed. The market research said follow the RPG trend, but then everyone started following this path. All those games dove in an oversaturated market.
True. Again, he's saying targeting makes it oversaturated, but again, I'm curious if he's gonna say it like doing something new doesn't guarantee, like, success. And sometimes whenever you target a particular group of people, but you make your game so fucking good, that is also success. But I know what they're saying.
は過去のもの。どちらも何か新しいことをしようというふうにするときには邪魔になりかねないので、話半分程度にするのが良いのではないでしょうか。
I like it's so beautifully said.
斬新なことをしようという
People who strive to be innovative will forever stand alone, for sure.
誰も通ったことがない道を切り開いて。
Lethal Company and Among Us did that. Really fun games. Yeah, exactly. I heard that fuck, I forgot who I was watching. It's kind of sad that like they're like Fall Guys. They kind of did their thing, and then there's like a game now that is being played more than Fall Guys that's like effectively exactly like Fall Guys. But I think that's like a free to play mobile game, and it's also on PC. But it's like, damn, I'd never heard of it. I think it's called like Stumble Guys or something like that.
That's right, and
yeah.
everyone's
Yeah.
like, I don't get it because they haven't done this before. They haven't seen this before.
He's absolutely right about this. It's a gamble though. That's the big thing.
The needs of a business won't lead to that.
That's exactly about movies these days. You have shit that comes out like Madam Web that's like processed by like market research and what do these people want, and you just get a like a shitty movie. At best you get a cookie cutter movie. It's exactly the same thing.
The needs of a business.
Woo! That's actually a really good video.
Quotes and nuggets of wisdom in this video that I'm like, I have to talk about this because this
That was really
This
good.
feels like somebody took a very simple
What's going on,
concept
Amoog?
of, you know, this is how we should approach things creatively, and made it very palatable and made it very informative, and said exactly what I think a lot of people are basically thinking, but just put in better words. But yeah, the basic of it is in this.
I remember we
one
got a
thing,
lot of
marketing is not so reliable,
yeah.
and market research is just analyzing the past, not blazing
Yeah.
a new road towards something that has yet to be.
Like God of War kind of made that subject or that particular type of like action game, and there were so many clones, and to be honest, like those clones weren't bad at all. Like there was Dante's Inferno, I like that one, and then you had like Castlevania, fuck what's it called, Lords of Shadow. That was good too, but like it was still really God of War-y. So, you know, sometimes you get some really good shit. Like he was talking about RPGs earlier, about like how everyone started making RPGs, and that's true. There's a bunch of bangers though. I mean, there's a bunch of shit out there too, don't get me wrong, but it's again, it's not necessarily a bad thing to make a game that's in vogue now or whatever, but
be discovered. That bit where Sakurai talked about how it is lonely to be on a path to innovation, to be the one to kind of try to come up with new ideas, resonates in a way that I think Kojima would really understand, because he's someone who's constantly said what a lonely road it is for him as a game designer, because he always comes up
he's
with
a
these ideas and
fucking brilliant
concepts that
person.
make people go, what, bro?
He's brilliant. I'd
And,
still need to
you know,
beat Metal Gear
say
Solid
what you
2.
want about Kojima games, but he's someone who's always thinking of like weird shit nobody would ever dream of greenlighting. You know what I mean? He just made.
I played Metal Gear Solid 1 earlier this year, like right around New Year's, and I'd never played it before. And that game is still fucking amazing. Like the camera work and stuff, all of that is Kojima, and I'm like, okay, I never really knew why everyone liked Metal Gear Solid, but the voice acting, it was like playing a movie. Sure, it didn't look the best, but still, like, you know, I was there when the PlayStation was out. Like, those kind of graphics don't really bother me, but it was so like fucking beyond what any game had been doing at the time, and like I can see that now. And I'm not like a big stealth person, but that game was a masterpiece.
Made a AAA delivery man game in the form of Death Stranding. And yeah, I mean, I know it may not necessarily be for everyone, but like what he made with that game and the whole, you know,
it's what he
scan
wanted to
system and
make.
whatever, took Dark Souls and Soulsborne's like messaging system and expanded it in a way where it's like you're not encountering people's messages, but people's structures and their
that was
all
really
the
cool.
different things that people put down that helps you in your journey, and how when you connect all
really
that stuff
cool.
populates the world. It's such a cool idea that, you know, when you like try to pitch this, the likes of, you know, all your usual AAA publishers that go the safe path, who do the market research and follow the market research path, would probably not ever greenlight something like that, or even conceive or try to make the attempt of conceiving something like that. And so, you know, I imagine that during the
that's why I have a lot of respect for Evolve. I think one game genre that we don't have a lot of, and I know it's probably like the most difficult to develop, is like an asymmetric thing. And Evolve, I don't know if y'all know about it, but it's like you're a fucking big Cthulhu type monster, and then you have 4 other people trying to take you down, and like one of the person who's the monster like has to go around the like world or map or whatever and like evolve, you know, it's the name of the game, while these other people are like trying to track you and, you know, put you to sleep or whatever it is, whatever monster you're playing. That was a really fucking cool idea. It just never really like realized itself. And I can't think of many other asymmetrical games like that. I guess there's Friday the 13th. I know a lot of people kind of liked, where like one person was the killer and you're playing the other 4 people or whatever are like the camp counselors or whatever it happened to be. I've never played it, but yeah, I don't know. I think if somebody comes along and does something really cool like that, it'll be really popular. But yeah, I know it's got to be incredibly difficult to like balance.
Development of Death Stranding, Kojima got a lot of like, I'm not sure, man. Like, I don't see it. I don't see the vision here. But Kojima, deep down, he knew what he was making. And it wasn't about targeting a specific audience. It wasn't about doing what market research indicated would see the best results. Kojima just like had this fucking thing he wanted to make. He had this feeling about this concept, and he just executed on it. And
he made what he wanted to.
Really unique and interesting. It's not the best-selling game ever, you know, but it still sold well because it was a Kojima game, and it was crazy enough to draw people's attention, to make them go, what the hell is this? Like to pique their curiosity.
You can really feel like the love that is poured in there. Oh, it absolutely is. Or I should say it absolutely should be a creative vision-based process and not a corporate one.
And for those who played it and enjoyed it, they've had a pretty like interesting and, you know, transformative experience where it made them go like, I didn't think about a game that could kind of approach the interactive nature of this medium in this way. And so, yeah, I don't know.
That's why one of my favorite games, and I had no idea what I was getting into whenever I got it, because I had not played any game like that, was the Quantic Dream game. It's Detroit Become Human. That's one of the best games I've ever played in my life. Like that first playthrough and how they make the choices like actually really fucking matter blew my goddamn mind. It was like playing a movie that you got to control. It was so fucking good. And then I went back after I beat that, or after I played a few times through that, and all of my playthroughs were like vastly, wildly different, which I loved. I went back to play, like, I think it was called Beyond Two Souls. It had, at the time, Ellen Page was the main character, and that one was really, really good too. Not as good as Detroit. Detroit was, oh man, that game is so fucking good. If y'all haven't played it, you need to. Like, you might think it's not a game that you would like, but I guarantee you it'll draw you in if you've never played it. It's so fucking good. I cannot say enough good things about it.
Topic just I felt really passionate about and felt the need to kind of put out there because Sakurai just like it was like almost like an itch that he scratched for me when he just put it in such precise and wise words what I've been feeling about certain aspects of the games industry that feel so.
House of Ash game. I'm not familiar with that. Or whatever they're the one Ashley Tisdale. I'm not familiar.
And,
Let me look it up.
So just lacking in that like drive for creative innovation, you know? But that, ladies and gentlemen, is one man's take. Let me know what you think about what Masahiro Sakurai had to say about how you shouldn't lean so heavily on
Dark Pictures Anthology? What is this? Oh, and a big portion of Detroit Become Human is like the actors they're based on, and I mean it's just a fucking stacked cast. The Marcus character, I didn't know who he was, and one time like I randomly sat down and watched Cabin in the Woods, which is a fucking amazing movie. Like he was in there and it's like that's fucking Marcus. It blew my mind. But let me look up this House of Ashes. I'm actually curious. I tried to play Origami. What was that game called? Origami Killer. It's made by the same people, and that was like their first really big one, I think. I never beat it. I think I kind of ruined myself going back in the catalog because I bought. They had a like a box collection set of like Detroit. Beyond Two Souls and that other game, and I played through them backwards. I'm like, okay, I can see how this was really innovative, but like I ruined it for myself because it didn't have that degree of freedom that the other ones had. Still a good game though. I've never heard about this.
An ancient
is this like a
has awoken.
Is this a contender for October scary game?
From its slumber and is
this
hungry
year?
for blood. Shall we see how many have fallen into shadow?
I'm always on the outlook for horror games.
Appears to be an underground storage facility, but I strongly suspect it's where chemical weapons are hidden, so we need to move fast.
To descend into the unknown alone is extremely brave.
I'm getting like fear vibes.
Or extremely foolish.
We're gonna sigh out this shit.
Brothers in arms.
Is it?
Or would it be a case of each man for himself?
If anything, that'll make it funnier.
You teeter on the edge of an abyss.
Okay.
Your survival depends on the choices you make. They will be as a compass, guiding you through the unknown.
Where on God's green earth have we landed?
What
I mean,
nightmare have these luckless souls
it
fallen
looks
into?
decent.
Keep lookout.
Do you is there like gunplay in this? Or is it all like like Detroit where like maybe there's some quick time events, but there's no real like action? It's all choices and stuff.
Look out for what?
One by one, their lights will be snuffed out. Unless you can find the means to save them. Trapped beneath the earth, swallowed by the void. Will you
It
find
looks
the
pretty
path
good.
to salvation? Or be lost in the darkness
Okay.
forever?
Yeah, I'd never heard of it. This came out 3 years ago. Yeah, I'm gonna have to keep that on the radar. Oh wait, what is this? Oh, that's the Diablo thing. Okay. No, that was cool. If you got any recommendations, whoever, you know, is watching this for like horror games, I'm all ears. I do want to play like Eternal Darkness, because I've heard that game's amazing. It's a GameCube game. I just never played it for whatever reason. I hear it like fucks with your mind. Like it'll be like, oh, we're deleting your memory card data and shit like that. Like it fucks with the player, which is really cool. Let me see, what else did I have? Oh, I wanted to do the Six Flags thing. Lost Media, that's for me to fall asleep to. Oh yeah, retro TV commercials. I'm gonna watch those at some point. Those are always fun to watch and be like, I had that, or I remember that. It's like when you're a kid, you hate commercials, but now it's like a nostalgia trip. Do I have insomnia? Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%. But I've always been a night owl. Like, and I guess, you know, like astronomy and stuff, going into that, it kind of definitely fit well with my lifestyle. I never had a like a bedtime growing up like pretty much everyone else did. I could just stay up as late as I wanted to, you know, suffer the next day through class. And I've just been doing that since I was like 5. Probably not the most healthy thing for sure. I want to watch this decade in review. Yeah. I'd go over to like friends' houses and be like, okay, it's bedtime. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? What is bedtime? What is this foreign concept? What are these words that you just said? Okay, I'm really curious about this. So this is my Six Flags over Texas. From 1970 to 1979. I am ready. It's not a very long video, it's 17 minutes.
Things to play. Yes, you heard the man, Sam. Play it again.
And there's a brand new pirate
Really?
show on Skull Island. Really big. And there's even a brand new monster out here at Six Flags.
I'm so curious on like how much it's changed.
Got a new monster ride. It's bigger than ever, sweetheart. With new rides, new shows. Quite frankly, it's the entertainment capital of
There it is. That's so 70s. It's like 70 game show stuff.
Six Flags.
Yep, they're the Six Flags.
My name is...
If y'all don't know why it's called Six Flags, like Six Flags over Texas, because Texas was like under 6 different rules of people. Like it was under like Mexico and France, and Texas was like its own thing for a little while, and then the USA. Shit, I'm a terrible text and I can't remember the other ones. But anyway, those are the 6 flags, like the 6 nations that Texas had been owned by at one point or
Bryant
another.
with SFOTsource.com, your premier guide to Six Flags over Texas. And after a bit of a hiatus, we thank you for joining us for the next installment of the Decade in Review series. This collection takes a look at the history of Six Flags over Texas, decade by decade.
So here it is. It was Spain, then France, then Mexico, then we were the Republic of Texas, and then we had the United States. So I was missing Spain. And Confederate, like, yeah. Whenever they tried to secede.
In this episode, we take a look at the 1970s. This decade in the park's history showcases cutting-edge innovation with attractions such as the Shockwave, Big Bend, and Texas Shootout, along with major expansions such as the addition of Good Time Square and Music Mill Amphitheater. Follow us as we travel back into the nostalgic portal to the Six Flags Over Texas of the 1970s.
Look, oh my god, look how much like grass and trees and shit. This right now is just a fucking city of concrete. Like, holy shit, this is wild. I think that road right there is probably 360, which is like a fucking like 10-lane road now. Or 5 going either way.
Along with
this is
major
absolutely
expansion.
insane.
The park's 1970 season begins on April 11th. During the off-season, the Texas Pavilion, also known as Texas Arena, is remodeled and expanded to 2,000 seats. The venue features a new show entitled the Los Voladores Flying Indian Spectacular.
Like the power lines are above ground.
A 1/16th model of Six Flags Over Texas is unveiled in the Boomtown Park area.
This is really, oh my god, it's like a blast from the past for me. There's the tower. Yeah, this must be 360, I think. Or no, 360 is actually probably over there. Wow, this is crazy.
Taking over a year to construct, the model features a number of small animated pieces. A new gift shop is added to the park's modern, or USA, section entitled Spectrum Mod. During the summer, guests could enjoy 2 highlighted productions in Southern Palace Theater.
Man, that right now is the most fucking dingy, broken down, like haunted looking fucking piece of shit. Six Flags did merge, though. I just found that out tonight with Cedar Fair, which is like a northeastern, I think, kind of company. So hopefully it'll like they'll fucking paint it and shit. It looks awful. Six Flags does.
And 45 minutes from Broadway. At the end of 1970, the Jet Set attraction is removed.
Oh, not the Jets. Nightmare Fuel. Good.
The 1971 season begins on April 3rd. Admission is set at $5.75 for...
Dude, admission for a ticket to Six Flags right now? It's $5 then? Oh my god, it's something stupid. It's like $40 or something. It's ridiculous.
For adults and $4 for children under 12 years old. Penn Central Railroad takes over management of the park. On June 20th, Six Flags Over Texas welcomes their 4th roller coaster to the park, Big Bend. A Schwarzkopf speed racer attraction, Big Bend, stands 81 feet tall and reaches speeds of 52 miles per hour. One of the most unique aspects of the coaster are its 2 electric spiral lift hills. Big Bend takes
actually
up the
really cool
location
looking.
Once occupied by Jet Set. Entertainment for the season includes Sing Out America, along with the Six Flags Shindig in the Texas Pavilion. A puppet show continues
they don't
in the
have
Croft
those
Puppet
anymore.
Theater, featuring the H.R. Pufnstuf character.
Hey, they got a live band.
The 1972 season begins on March 25th and marks the first ever time that Six Flags Over Texas has opened prior to the month of April. The park's entrance mall area sees the addition of a large ball fountain. At night, the fountain would feature color-changing light effects.
That's sad.
The
Like,
Buggy,
the fountain now
children's
looks like
car ride
garbage.
attraction is added to the petting zoo in the park's USA section.
It's really depressing
In Boomtown,
now.
the Hash House is renamed to Dry Hole Charlie's, and the area's second refreshment location becomes Mustard's Last Stand Hot Dogs. The season's entertainment offerings include Gotta Sing, Gotta Dance in Southern Palace Theater, and Follies in the Croft
Ryan, what are
Puppet
you
Theater.
doing?
The Will Rogers Show Building is constructed near the Croft Puppet Theater, and the show featured a Will
I'm
Rogers
trying to like
animatronic
see if any
figure
of this shit
that
is
would
still there.
recreate various comedy show
I know the
routines.
oil tower is oil derrick, whatever.
The 1973 season begins on March 17th with the highlight attraction being the addition of an 8th
That's a
park
badass
area.
looking fountain.
The new area, named Good Time Square, was the first to feature games of skill. Much like the park's boom.
I think this area turns into the Gotham area. This looks like over here on the left, they have that stupid fucking ring toss game where there's like a bunch of like soda bottles and they have you throw out like a rubber ring. It's like nearly fucking impossible to do.
Boomtown section, Good Time Square was considered another extension to the modern or USA area. Attractions for the area's opening season include Doc Snooker's Infernal Electric Bumping Machines, or bumper cars, and Crazy Legs, an Ireland aircraft monster attraction. With the addition of this new area, the Boomtown train station is replaced by the Good Time Square Railroad Station. The new station is in the same spot, just on the opposite side of the train tracks. A new dining location,
I think the train is still there, it just doesn't work anymore.
Circus,
at least whenever I've
called
been
the
there.
Dragon Brothers Circus, are added in the new park area with its debut. An attendance record of 40,742 guests takes place on May 19th. The production The Passing Parade is featured in Southern Palace Theater during the season.
I went last year for Fright Fest for Halloween. I liked it, but man, it was sad. Like nobody was there. And they did this like show at closing time. It was like depressing. Like really, really fucking depressing.
The refreshment stand in Modern is renamed to the Pit Stop, while the Depot Cafe in Texas is renamed to the Iron Horse Snack Shop. The La Terraza refresh stand in the park's Mexico section becomes the La Cantina snack stand. In the fall, Six Flags Over Texas
and we had watched, I think it was right before you came in, like we had watched this guy go around, and actually I think they are kind of trying to renovate it a little bit because they got merged. And man, food there is it's the most shit food, and it costs like literally $20 to get like a burger, fry, and a drink. And like McDonald's hamburgers are better than theirs. It's a fucking ripoff. I cannot believe how much it costs.
Its first Halloween themed event, which featured specialized shows,
ridiculously
a parade,
bad,
and roaming monsters.
And I didn't know this. Like whenever I was younger and like my family would go there, we would stop and get like a bunch of sandwiches from Subway and put them in a cooler or whatever. So whenever we got hungry, like at lunch or whatever, we'd go out to the car, we'd eat, and then we go back in. They actually don't allow you to do that anymore. Like whenever you leave the gates, there is no like return in because they make you buy their shitty overpriced food. Overpriced is being generous. It's like whatever is beyond overpriced. It's so fucking awful.
The 1974 season kicks off on March 15th. With the success of concerts in previous seasons, Six Flags Over Texas constructs the 4,500-seat Music Mill Amphitheater in its tower section.
Oh yeah, I've always seen that. Never seen anyone ever use it.
Ski Ball Palace. Multiple dining.
Look at these people. The fucking Jeffrey Dahmer up here at the very top.
Saw the debut of the Ski Ball Palace. Multiple dining and shopping changes take place for the 1974 season. The meat market, which was constructed during the park's opening season, is turned into Icy Fizz soda fountain specialties. Both the country store and the post office become the Hanging Tree gift shop. The bank building, also an opening season structure, is converted into the Sandwich Emporium.
I can't even imagine like going there when everything was this new. And like I'm sure it was packed all the time. Now it's just, I don't know, maybe it's the days that I went. It looked like something out of a horror video game, like a rundown amusement park. bad. I mean, I love the coasters, obviously, but everything
Entertainment
else
for the season included Great to Be Here, which was
not great.
featured inside the Southern Palace Theater. With the addition of Music Mill Amphitheater, the Texas Pavilion is removed at the end of the season. The park's Confederacy section also sees a change with the removal of...
Ooh, yep. Yep. Confederacy, honoring the Confederacy. That is, that's not a thing anymore. I did not know that actually existed. I mean, it makes sense because the park has like 6 areas. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you don't... Nah.
Of the Flying Jenny
Maybe
attraction.
not. Maybe don't do that.
Well, in our world of fun, there's always more room.
Oh, they had the log flume then?
Newest creation, a voyage of light that's quite a sensation. It sparkles, it sounds, and starts with a twirl. It's the wild rotoriculus. Give it a whirl.
Look at the high fidelity of this.
Come take a spin.
I love looking at old commercials like
on
that.
March 15th
It's fascinating.
with adult admission set at $7.
Oh,
Admission
shit,
for kids
$7?
under 12 years old at $6 and parking at 50 cents.
Oh my
The new
god, that's the
mascot,
most insane
Cyrus
price
Cosmo
hike.
was introduced at Six Flags over Texas. Cosmo is an inventor and uses his skills to invent new attractions and entertainment all around the park.
That gondola ride thing does not exist anymore. And I think I know why, but I'm curious. If he doesn't say it, I'll talk about it at the end.
The season sees the
It's
Cyrus
not good.
Cosmo Incredible Light Brigade Parade and the Cyrus Cosmo
I
Wonder
think
Show,
it's here,
the
though.
Magic Show, in Music Mill Amphitheater. Other inventions include the addition of the Sea Cosmo Flying Machine Company, a children's biplane attraction. The new ride is placed in the former spot of the Flying Jenny. Also debuting under Cyrus Cosmo is Rotoriculus in Good Time Square. The attraction is an indoor Reverchon Himalaya flat ride. Other season entertainment
Okay,
includes
I think I was
Jukebox
right.
Jubilee in Southern Palace Theater and an acrobatics show atop the Oil Derrick. Billed as America's champion daredevil aerials.
Holy
the
shit, they
stunts
don't
were
do anything
performed on
like that. That's
30-foot
fucking
sway
wild.
poles. The season ends on November 30th with a total attendance of 2.7 million guests.
Fuck that.
Average daily attendance is around 15,000 guests.
How do you like how do you what's the word? How do you like hire those people? Because you have to know their insurance is out of the world. Like going up that high. Like it's literally just taking risks.
The park's 1976 season begins on March 13th with adult admission set at $7.50.
Price hike
Children
again.
ages 3 and under are free. Season passes are introduced for the first time at $25.
That's a
New
good deal.
for 1976 is the Texas Shootout. This Intamin parachute drop, which stands 200 feet tall, gives riders a great view of the park and surrounding areas.
That is still there.
This is the park's
That is
first
still operating.
major skyline change since the addition of Oil Derrick in 1969. The structure originally built for the Will Rogers Show is converted into a queue house for the Texas Shootout. Other changes for 1976 include the Sea Cosmo Flying Machine Company children's attraction being renamed to Red Baron. The Croft
Oh,
Puppet
wow.
Theater receives a major makeover and becomes the Good Time Theater. It
All of
features
that
the
shit
American
is
Pie
so
Jamboree,
fucking awful.
while the Southern Palace Theater features Celebrate. The 1976 season concludes on November 28th. Attraction removals include the Oil Derrick slides and the Skull Island rafts.
Is it?
1977 sees the introduction of another Cyrus Cosmo invention, the Spinnaker.
Wait, what show? Local show? Elaborate?
The attraction features several gondolas that one or two riders could sit inside of. Spinnaker would start its journey parallel.
Oh shit, I know what that is. I use that in Parkitect all the time.
Center arm would tilt up
That
towards
doesn't
a 90-degree angle for a
sorry,
thrilling
that doesn't
experience.
exist anymore.
Changes come to a recently added ride with the introduction of stand-up baskets on Texas Shootout.
Nah.
Riders would now have the chance to experience the
Nope.
ride sitting down or standing up. A
Nope.
new gift shop,
I think I'll
El
sit down.
Mercado de la Plaza, is added to the park's Mexico section near Front Gate. The pit stop dining location in Modern is renamed to Mother Morton's Snack Stand. As of 1977,
Toy
the
store.
former exhibit hall building is home to the Crazy Confections, USA Hat Shop, and Solar Circuit shopping locations. New entertainment comes to the park as the Pirate Ship Theater, featuring Captain Laflitte's
we don't have that.
flagship Follies, comes to Skull Island. Good times, good music, good
I
friends.
think
is
we
featured
still
inside
have the
Southern
pirate
Palace
ship.
Theater.
I think.
On July 3rd, a record-breaking crowd is reported at Six Flags Over Texas, with 45,496 guests in attendance. This occurs the same day that KC.
Oh, okay, yeah. Fair
At
carnival.
the end of the season,
Gotcha,
the
gotcha.
Missile Chaser Scrambler attraction is
Yeah,
removed.
okay, understood. Do you have? It's $25 to get in. Do y'all have to like pay for? Like whenever I go to a carnival, they have the option to pay like $25 or whatever to get a little band, so you don't have to buy tickets to give to people to like ride the rides. It's pretty fucking expensive. Worth it if you love carnivals, but.
Imagine the tallest, fastest, meanest double loop
Oh shit, here it is. This apparently was iconic. The Shockwave. My dad, like I'm originally from Central Texas, like near Waco or whatever, and then we moved up here. Well, we moved to Houston, then moved up here. But my dad was there apparently when this opened, and he said it was the most fucking insane thing ever. It's pretty tame by today's standards, but it's still pretty fun. You still have to pay. Oh, okay.
It's imagination.
This was huge.
The 1978 season begins on March 11th with admission at $8.50 for adults.
Every year.
Children under 3 are free.
Price hike.
The park has seen 32 million total visitors since its opening in 1961. New for 1978 is the park's 5th roller coaster, Shockwave.
It is a fun coaster.
This
to be fair.
Schwarzkopf multi-looping steel roller coaster features a height of 116 feet, top speed of 60 miles per hour, 3,600 feet of track, and 2 inversions. For a short time, Shockwave was coined as the tallest, fastest, longest double-loop roller coaster in the world.
Yep. It was huge.
Summer entertainment included Jazz Crazy inside the Southern Palace Theater. Several removals happened at the end of the 1978 season, including the skull from Skull Island, the Cyclorama Museum inside the Indian Village Trading Post, and the Fiesta Train. 1978 was a year of record attendance at Six Flags Over Texas with 2.78 million
How far they
guests.
have fallen.
The yearly average attendance sits at around 2.5 million guests.
I would actually work there if I got to work on like roller
The
coasters and shit,
1979
like
season,
maintenance
our
and stuff.
final
That would
of
be
this
fun.
decade in
I
review,
think.
begins on March
Be
3rd.
hot as shit though.
On March 12th, the founder of Six Flags Over Texas, Angus G. Wynn Jr., passes away at the age of 65. The 1979 season offers several new entertainment
That is
offerings.
horrifying.
The newly added 400-seat People Mover Theater opens and features the People Mover Show. The new venue is located just
Oh my
behind
God,
the
that's
Indian Village
terrifying.
Trading Post. Other entertainment.
Look at this one on the right. Have to deal with yeah. Well, I'm talking about like checking the coasters and making sure they function right, not like the janitorial stuff, like the engineering stuff. Yeah, That wouldn't be great though.
The new venue is located just behind.
I really don't know
Indian
like
Village
who's
Trading
assigned to
Post.
what. So
Other
maybe
entertainment
it would
includes
be
the
Puke
World on
as
a
well.
String and Good Time Theater. A new ride, the Sensational Sense Machine, opens in the location formerly occupied by Missile Chaser in Modern. Holding up to 50 guests at a time, the Intamin
Ooh.
AG-designed virtual reality attraction shifts around in sync with the featured movie via hydraulics.
I hate those. I am so sorry. I think those are the dumbest things ever. Like you have the movable seat and you're like right up near a movie screen, and like the seat moves whenever you. I don't know. Those are not my favorite rides at all.
Casa Magnetica is rethemed to the Lost Temple of the Chizos, and its entrance is moved near the exit of Log Flume 2. The attraction receives a Mayan theme and features
Log Flume
recorded
is still
steals
going
instead of live actors.
And it's pretty fun.
With the removal of the Fiesta train, the El Sombrero Flat Ride is moved near its former location using the same entrance and queue house.
I rode that the
In
last
Good
time I
Time
was
Square, Rotariculus is renamed to
It's okay.
Roto Disco. The Hanging Tree Shop in Texas is renamed to Texas Triple T, while USA adds the Dog Tags gift shop. The end of the season brings forth removals of a few iconic pieces of Six Flags Over Texas history.
Damn.
After being plagued with several
looks like
mechanical
fun.
problems and low throughput, the Big Bend roller coaster is removed.
That's
it
a
is sent
shame.
to Six Flags St. Louis and put into storage before eventually being scrapped. Track 1 of the Happy Motoring Freeway is also removed, along with the Banderas de Colores, or covered walkway, in the Mexico section.
Why would you remove that? It gets like 110 here.
The 1970s was the first time Six Flags
We
Over
love
Texas
the covered
really started
walkways.
stepping out of its traditional first decade ways by adding high thrill rides that didn't focus much on theme. With the addition of these, saw the removal of many opening season and fan favorite attractions. What were some of your
That was
favorite
pretty good.
and not so favorite
Have y'all
moments
seen
of
the
1970s?
the little kid riding the zipper for the first time? It's one of the fucking funniest things I've ever seen. I haven't watched it in a while. I watched it. Shit, when did I watch it? This is funny though if you've never seen it.
Say a little what's up? Me and Carter are gonna.
In the zipper in the next round.
That's right. We're gonna
Dude, that
have
little
the
kid is
zipper.
so excited.
Almost on it.
And it's so crazy.
I think you probably know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, that's.
And I'm bald.
Yeah, we just shaved his
Dude,
head.
he wants
so it'll
that
go
street
super fast.
cred so bad. He wants to go back to school to hammer the fucking zipper. Badass.
No, we can't be on the next one. No way.
Oh, look at. We got one more.
We're gonna be on the next.
Uh-oh.
Like it, man, he's
It's okay,
so
this one's
fucking
fine.
pumped. I love the zipper. The zipper's so much fun.
I don't think we're ever gonna see Carter scream like this again.
The zipper's so much fun.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit!
Just wait,
Hell
just wait.
yeah!
Just wait till they're
Let's
gone.
fucking go!
All right. Yeah, there we go. Heck yeah, let's leave. Just want to watch that. What's that? Oh, yeah. 6 each? Here,
Yeah.
hold that, buddy.
How do I?
Just hold on. Don't worry about it. Don't
No,
worry, don't worry, don't worry.
like the seats tilted.
Oh no, the seat's tilting. Who would have ever thought?
Yeah, don't worry, we'll be all right. That easier for you. We got you, bro. All right, here we go.
I go up?
No. There we go. Oh, yeah.
Oh shit!
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if y'all have ever ridden the zipper or not, but there's not really any kind of like harness or anything. Whenever they close the door, this black thing on the bottom kind of a little bit extends out. Like that's your seatbelt or whatever. And these things here, the little black bars, you hold them, you push on them, like just to make sure you don't like fucking tumble around like a goddamn rock tumbler.
I go up?
So that's pretty much it.
There we go.
There's no like super
Oh, yeah.
restraint.
Hold on to the bars.
Here we
Hold
go.
on to the bars.
Here we go. There we go.
There
It's
we
going.
go. Oh,
It's
it's
going.
coming, everybody. Here, give me a little what's up.
What's up?
What's up?
Here he goes. He's so excited.
Oh,
Oh shit! Yeah, it's fun.
oh, here we go.
It's fun.
Here we go. Whoa!
Oh shit! He flipped.
It's okay. It's okay. Hold on. Hold on tight. Open your eyes. Look out. Look out. It's okay. We're almost
It was at this moment he knew he fucked up.
done. Look at outside. Look out.
I'm never gonna do this again.
Just look outside.
I'm gonna die.
No, you're not. Look
You
at
don't even know.
buddy. Look at that. No, you won't. No, you won't. It's okay. Breathe. Breathe.
He wants to
Watch.
get off.
Oh, it's so good, dude. Uh-oh, we're going backwards.
Oh shit!
Here we go. No, you won't. I promise. We'll be okay. Oh! It's okay.
Oh shit! There it is.
I love you, buddy. I love you.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This shit is so fucking funny.
So good. I love you. Look at outside. Look outside. Here we're
It's going for way longer than he thought.
Okay, we're almost done. It's almost done.
You can see like
Right now. Right now.
So much, and I'm never gonna come on it again.
abso-fucking-lutely he will.
Okay.
And he gets to show this video around. He gets to have this story. And, you know, whenever he gets older or whatever, he's going to look back and make so much fun of himself.
That was not fun.
Give me
That was so not fun.
You survived though.
I almost died.
No. No, you didn't.
I gotta give props to him though. This kid is probably like, what would you say, 7 maybe? Shit, I wouldn't have done it at 7.
Oh, look at outside. Let's look at the view. Let's look at the view. Isn't that cool? It's okay. Let's look outside here. Let's look outside your side. So now they're just gonna rotate us slowly on the bottom till we get back down there.
Kevin?
Oh, I don't think Kevin's standing there anymore. That was
Kevin
so,
gone.
So good.
I don't know who Kevin
so
is, but
glad
he's gone.
We got that on camera.
I am so
Yeah.
We're gonna have such a good time watching that later. Holy cow!
I am not happy.
That was
Scary.
perfect.
That was scary.
That was really.
What?
That was. I'm gonna do that when I'm an adult.
That's okay. That was
When you're an
fun.
adult.
So fun going slow.
Yeah. Yep.
I am never.
So fucking good.
You gotta see this film, dude.
Carnival workers laughing. It's so funny. It's like such a wholesome slice
Hey,
of life.
Someone grab those tickets? No. Someone grabbed them, man.
Somebody stole his ticket? No, they didn't.
Here.
Yeah, okay.
Oh yeah, nice. Thank you, buddy. Yeah.
That kid
Thank you. Guys,
probably like
Thank you.
I was scared.
Give me 5, buddy. Give me 5. That was amazing.
All the girls sitting down to go on
That was beautiful. So
you know, this is probably the weekend. And the next Monday that he goes to school, he's gonna fucking brag about it to every person. Like, oh yeah, I went on the zipper. Absolutely. Like, yeah. Doesn't everybody? You know he's gonna use that to gain clout. It's so fucking funny. I love that. This is 2021. I don't know why the camera says it's like 2016. Maybe like the battery went out or something. Oh man, that is so fucking funny. Oh shit, what's Papa Gut doing? He's doing what I do, but he's much more successful.
I'm gonna do that right now. I'm gonna take it down out of respect to Colossal.
Colossal Ooh, shit. I'm gonna snipe his, not snipe, but some other new video came out. Colossal confronts Shadman. Dude, that Shadman, he needs to be thrown under the jail. Colossal. This is like brand new, I'm pretty sure. Filters today. Or not. Maybe it was a little while ago. Regardless, doesn't even really matter. Oh, that was 7 years ago. Okay, this isn't as relevant as I thought it was. Let's see. This Kris Tyson bullshit's the whatever of today, the hot topic. Oh wait, I didn't watch the Philly show. I meant to.
You beautiful bastards, welcome back to the Philip DeFranco Show, your daily dive into the news, and a lot has happened in the past 24 hours. So you just hit that like button to let YouTube know you love these big daily dives into the news, and let's jump into it.
I like Philip DeFranco.
So Ava Kris Tyson of the Mr. Beast crew is in the middle of a massive scandal right now. She faces allegations that she inappropriately messaged a minor. And while all of this is just now blowing up online, this actually began last month when a little-known YouTube channel called Prism42 posted the allegations. Right, and in it, he accuses her of starting an online friendship with a 13-year-old boy while she was 20, then showing screenshots of several tweets that he claims are between Ava and the minor. And one from 2018, Ava's promoting her Patreon, with her allegedly saying, "Guys, we are so close to our goal, one more Patreon and I'm releasing my nudes." With the two appearing to exchange kissy face and winky face emojis in a thread, and
it's so bad. Don't fuck. I hate emojis. Don't talk to a 13-year-old and use emojis. Don't talk to a 13-year-old.
Ava eventually telling the minor directly, "I posted some fire nudes for you, please no share." And there, Prism saying, even if this was just a series of raunchy jokes and no actual nudes were exchanged, in what worlds is it appropriate for an adult to joke with a kid like this? Prism then showing other screenshots, some in which Ava appears to call the kid dad, as well as another suggesting Ava was sending him Snapchat DMs with adult jokes. And Prism going on to say when the kid was 16, he met up with Ava as well as Carl Jacobs after taking a camper to the middle of the woods in a quote-unquote secluded area. With Prism
the camper thing is so fucking grody, sketchy. Yeah, exactly. Other than like playing video games or something.
And saying he interviewed this guy who's now in his 20s, and saying he asked if Ava or anyone else on the Beast team ever assaulted him. However,
but yeah, don't talk to
the guy fully denied that. It also seemed like they weren't on the same page, with at one point Prism saying to him directly,
"That is highly inappropriate. That should have never happened. I'm sorry if your feelings were hurt in any way, shape, or form. I want you to know that I don't have any ill intention here against you. And at the end of the day, the only reason I did any of this and was trying to get this information out is because of genuine concern."
He also addressed Mr. Beast and said,
"I think the work that I
them appearing at the Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards is
you do,
it's not
it's
good.
fine work, it's great.
It's not a good optic.
Good charity. I don't have anything against you other than like the fact that, you know, you seem to be okay with having someone that says they're the opposite gender near kids."
However, you know, this video largely went unnoticed until this week when a creator by the name of Brion posted another video recapping Prism42's claim. Right in it, Brion stresses that he can't confirm Prism's claims 100%, saying,
"It's all allegations. You know, take the things that you see here with a grain of salt. We don't know if 100% Kris is a pedophile or predator or whatever. We just know that Kris has done some really weird things in his past over on Twitter."
And with that, you had Brion honing in on a tweet where the kid asked Ava about her hentai hentai addiction.
Like, it's really odd that a 14-year-old knows that a 21-year-old has a hentai addiction and these two happen to be friends. Like, why the hell would you tell somebody who is this age, or frankly a minor, weird sexual shit and the things that you're into sexually?
And then sort of separate but also connected to this whole story in recent days, we've seen a lot of people screenshot.
I didn't know that. That's new information to me.
Where she expresses an interest in lolly, which is this anime style of either drawing young-looking or underage girls, usually in a suggestive or outright explicit way. There, you also have the likes of Keemstar, right?
Again, I have to make this clear. If you like lolly, there is no explaining away that they're like a 2,000-year-old dragon and they happen to look like a child. If you're getting turned on by looking at the visage of a child body, drawn or not, it's fucked up. Like, you need to get help.
Writing Kris Tyson,
you're getting turned on by a child-looking like body
in a sexual manner, saying this is a known fact, and adding privately, me and Kris Tyson even had a conversation about this roughly a month ago, as it still upsets me. This is not misinformation, this is a fact. And adding, as the owner of Drama Alert, I can tell you there has been misinformation surrounding Kris Tyson today on Twitter. However, this above is 100% true, just like this old tweet from Kris shown here. It's 100% true and authentic. But then jumping back to Brion's video, he asks Ava to respond to all of this, saying,
Kris has to say something. Kris can't be quiet like Kris has been for the longest time. This needs to be something that Kris is going to address head on, like right now.
But that said, so far, as of recording, Ava hasn't outright responded to these allegations, though reportedly last month she did delete all of her tweets from her account. We also haven't seen any comment from Mr. Beast regarding the situation either, though close to that,
that's what I'm waiting for.
Mr. Beast connected me directly to Lava, the alleged Kris Tyson groomed victim. Lava said, I was not groomed by Kris Tyson, also saying I did not meet Kris Tyson by myself. I met Kris and the Mr. Beast crew with my family present, and saying I ran a Discord with Kris Tyson.
That doesn't...
13 and edgy, inappropriate jokes were said. That's it. And also, if you go to that person's Twitter, they wrote, Kris did nothing wrong. What's actually disgusting is you guys twisting things and making me a victim as well.
No, see, the point about this, though, is that the person is underaged. So they don't know that he did nothing wrong. Like, this is the grooming thing. If you're being groomed, you're not going to know it till like maybe way later on in life and you look back at it.
Well as, can you guys help me counter all these lies? Kris's messages to me were sent in public Discord servers, groups, but everyone is framing it as if it was one-on-one. Kris literally did nothing wrong. And in another tweet saying, this situation takes away from children who are actively being exploited every day online. So there, you had a lot of people kind of either not buying that or countering that by saying something along the lines of what Moist Critical said during a live stream.
And then one of the, like the main person being talked about came forward saying they weren't groomed and that it wasn't weird, but
yeah, exactly. For sure. I agree with that 100%.
The whole thing is, if you were groomed, you're probably not going to be super aware of it. And from the messages I saw, that shit is completely unacceptable to be saying to a child under any circumstances. And then I saw people saying it was a group chat, but an adult being in a group chat with children and then still saying edgy or inappropriate shit is still unacceptable.
Fair.
Like that... Like,
the weird thing, I guess, that I want to hear about Mr. Beast is people went back through, and whenever him and Kris were like roommates, they had one of those weird lolly pictures with the like BBC tattooed on them and stuff. And because people are like, well, did Kris know? Did Mr. Beast know or not know, about this? And I like, my retort to that would be like, if I had a roommate and my roommate hung up this weird fucking child lolly BBC explicit shit in our living room, I'd be like, hey man, what the fuck is that? And why do you have it? And why are you displaying it? Like, if I was Mr. Beast, that's what I would say. Like, there's no way that Mr. Beast didn't know about this. The dude fucking hung up a lolicon poster in their room, in their living room. It's weird. It's weird shit.
Like, there's no context.
I want to see his
with this. We see just so
that.
many different reactions, right? Some just outright condemning Ava. You also had a former member of the Mr. Beast crew saying Jimmy knew. Though again, others saying when you were a minor, you wouldn't be aware of what was happening. You also had others going after Prism and Brion for misgendering Ava throughout the videos, which then, connected to that, you had many people saying they're scared shitless that these allegations against Ava are just going to turn into cannon fodder to scapegoat the entire trans community. Saying things like, let's be clear, the Ava Kris Tyson allegations are not a trans issue. It is in fact a content creator issue. So many people people, when given a small amount of power, abuse it, and this itself should be studied. With some arguing we're already seeing the first ripples of that, with, for example, Andrew Tate responding to the situation by saying,
"Oh, imagine
now
that."
Everyone's pretending to be surprised that this fucking tried to fuck a kid. Well, of course. It's all they're fucking sexual deviants. They're weirdos. There's no reason to chop your own fucking dick off unless you're a weirdo. Newsflash! You're weird.
We've also seen a number of people drawing comparisons between this situation and the one with Dr. Disrespect, with many online saying that those who are quick to comment on the Dr. Disrespect situation have stayed silent on this one, with seemingly almost all the creators that were in the recent 50 YouTuber Mr. Beast video getting hit up about this. So in particular, the creators Pokimane and Valkyrie seem to get a lot of the attention, with then actually, as of this
I didn't
morning,
actually
both
look into
responded. Pokimane saying, I
much
don't
of
know all the
that
details
today.
regarding the Ava situation, but I want to make it clear any inappropriate behavior towards minors is unacceptable, regardless of who you are, and adding it's a shame that people will see this as an opportunity to attack the trans community as a whole. One person's actions does not reflect on every single trans person, so please don't view it that way. With Valkyrie hitting a lot of the same notes, but then also adding, Dr. Disrespect is still gross, and lastly to the incels that only tagged Pokey and I to speak up, even though everybody did after D did himself, you're weird. Focus your hate towards the pedos for once. And there, online, we've seen people arguing both things, right? Some saying that people went after Dr. Disrespect harder, others saying they went after Ava harder. Now with all this, I do want to note that everything is still developing and growing. We're now seeing others digging up different comments and posts Ava allegedly made, with that including, for example, video of Ava in the past talking about and linking to leaked nudes of Jeanette McCurdy in an old clip, as well as at least one other person claiming they were also underage when Ava
Dude,
sent
the
them
internet
inappropriate
is
messages.
brutal.
They're providing video of what appears to be Snapchat DMs and explicit Discord voice chats from group messages. And in the meantime, you have all these different things all over the place getting millions and millions of views. You have people arguing about what's real or not, which is also why we've seen people both in support of and against Ava or Mr. Beast here pressuring them to speak on this. Especially because, again, you have people like Jake the Viking who used to be a part of
we
Mr.
heard
Beast
about
crew,
him
saying things
earlier.
like Jimmy New.
Because Keemstar, I was streaming it live. He did like a Twitter Spaces thing, and this guy came on there. This guy's Jake the Viking, used to work with Mr. Beast.
And actually, like, really hitting on how everything's been developing in real time, we have a last-second update right before we were uploading. Ava Kris Tyson just tweeted, I would like to apologize for any of my past behavior or comments if it hurt or offended anyone. It was not my intent. Seeing recent events, we've mutually decided it's best I permanently step away from all things Mr. Beast and social media to focus on my family and mental health. So for now, that's where we're going to end this today. But of course, with all this, I got to pass the question off to you. What are your thoughts here? And then in the...
It's weird. He did say, like, at the end, or at the end of the story. Okay.
least surprising news.
Yeah, I don't care about that. It's weird. I really, really, really want to know what's going to happen with Mr. Beast. Shit. I had more shit to watch, too. Let's see what Thunderfoot has to say about Elon. These are always fun.
In 2022, Elon Musk was very clear when talking about Trump, saying, I don't hate the man, but it's time for Trump to hang up his hat and sail off
He's so
into
fucking
the sunset.
opportunistic.
In reply to this video.
Nah, he's got himself a mess. You know, he said the other day, oh, I've never voted for a Republican. I said, I didn't know that. He told me he voted for me. So he's another bullshit artist, but he's not going to be behind it.
It doesn't matter.
And
It doesn't
now
matter
Musk
how much
is going
Trump
to be giving
berates you.
over $1 million
People
a
always
day
bend the knee.
to try to get Trump re-elected. Leading to the interesting question, what with American elections being determined by a handful of voters in a handful of swing states, how much does it cost to buy a president these days? And curse my slow video making skills. So the conclusion of this video was how Biden has a phew, that was a close one, brush with
We're a
death like
joke.
Trump every time
Our
he
whole
walks down a
fucking
flight of stairs. And that realistically,
election
Trump is just
system
a few
is
steps behind him.
Our
With
government
Trump being
as a whole
decade
is
past
so fucked.
retirement age, and Biden just a few years older than him. As Musk said in 2022, just a couple of years ago, Trump would be 82 at the end of term, which is too old to be a chief executive of anything, let alone the United States of America. And
Yeah, we're supposed to elect people that like have our interest at heart, and like know what's best and like what the people of the country wants. Like, what the fuck would an 82-year-old know about what us as like myself, 38? Like, what is like? How in what world does he relate to anything that's like relevant to me? Australia, like, yeah, exactly.
And this is an absolute statement. It's not one you can reconsider because the facts aren't going to change.
Everyone is
Trump
laughing at us.
Isn't going to get any younger. Well, it seems to have been echoed by Nikki Haley, who basically said,
"Shit, Trump. I bet you if they said, if Trump said that he was getting younger, this fucking cult would believe
the first
him.
party to retire its 80-year-old candidate will be the one who wins the election."
And go out, by the way, while I'm here and sign up now for Truth Social. It's hot as a pistol, and you see that. I pulled that one right.
Fact check 2024.
Where the fuck is my nail
Truth
file?
Social has way less than 1% of the traffic of any of the mainstream social media networks.
Leon, I tell you what, Elon is not going to buy Twitter. Where did you hear that before? From me.
And then he did.
Meanwhile, 4 months ago, Musk made it super clear. Just to be super clear, I'm not donating to either candidate for US president. And when Musk
That
makes a
aged like
statement
milk.
like this, you know he means it. Just like he said,
billionaire entrepreneur Elon Musk puts his money where his mouth is.
I am personally guaranteeing that value and standing behind that guarantee with all of my assets.
just like his money was the first in, it would be
such a
the
grifter.
last out. By which, of course, he meant he was going to sell more Tesla stock than anyone in history. So, having made it super clear that he's not going to be donating to either candidate for president, what was that? Musk is now giving over $1 million a day, $45 million a month to try to get Trump re-elected.
Fascinating. Do you know what I could do with like 0.1% of that money? It would literally solve every problem I have in my life right now. Like 0.1% of that. And he's giving him $45 million every month.
How is that possible when an individual is only allowed to give some $3,000 to try to get someone elected? Well, America's got kind of a backdoor for these things called political action committees. It's a sort of auction for the presidency. So why is this fascinating? Well, Trump once told us what he thought about Musk. When Elon Musk came to the White House and asked for help on his many subsidized projects, whether it's electric cars that don't drive long enough, driverless cars that crash, or rocket ships to nowhere,
it was so
without
awful.
which subsidies he'd be worthless. And telling me how he was a big Trump fan and a Republican, I could have said drop to your knees and beg, and he would have done it.
He is probably going to be the next president. Like, he can say anything. It's wild.
So Trump seems to be being super clear here that Musk isn't actually a successful businessman. He's only where he is because of huge government subsidies.
And like, Trump was, like, in the last election, not the Biden one, but before that, he was, like, calling one of the other running mates, I forgot who it was it Mitt Romney or something? He was saying, like, his wife was a whore or something along those lines, like berating his wife. And I think it was, like I said, Mitt Romney. It could have been another person. But anyway, like whenever he started like actually running Trump, man, he fell in line. Mitt Romney or whoever it was, like after Trump shitting on his family, he fucking bent the knee. It's so fucking awful.
Probably he's bidding for more of them at the moment. I wonder if Musk giving $45 million a month to Trump has changed his opinions at all.
I bet it has.
Elon, I love Elon Musk. Do we
Oh
love
yeah,
him? I love
imagine that. Loves him.
him. Not 45 million. Gives me 45 million a month. We have to make life good for our smart people, you know? We have some smart people. We have to make life good for our smart people. And he's as smart as you get.
Cost of buying a US president, $45 million a month. Even weirder, isn't Musk's big thing changing the planet to renewable electricity, you know, electric cars, that sort of thing?
Tesla is accelerating sustainable energy.
Now he's backing a party of fossil fuels and drill baby drill.
Fucking horn. Oh shit, that got me. That one got me.
Now, Musk, of course, returned the favor by backing the next president of the United States. That would be President Ron DeSantis, by helping him launch his campaign on Twitter, which was an utter fiasco.
Well, today was DeSantis' big opportunity to present himself to the country as a contender.
All of a sudden, Elon Musk, who has struggled with Twitter since his takeover, is going to wind up with this enormous interest in Twitter Spaces. And of course, it never hurts a presidential candidate to have a billionaire on his side.
He did it at a little past 6 p.m. in an unprecedented way, announcing it live on Twitter with Twitter's owner, one of the richest men in the world, Elon Musk.
With 140 million plus Twitter followers, billions in the bank, and a public disdain for former President Donald Trump, Musk is in a position to help DeSantis.
What a fucking cuck. Like, I don't use that word lightly, but holy shit.
And here is how that gigantic headline moment for Ron DeSantis began this evening.
Fucking alien shit? What's happening? Close encounters?
Our Twitter Spaces event, and more broadly, a first in the history of social media. Tonight, I'm pleased to introduce two individuals who've done more to loosen the grip.
That was a big kickoff. That was it. This was Ron DeSantis' president.
Oh, he was kicking off the... He was helping him start his campaign, and then he did it on Twitter Space, and then it fucked up royally. Okay,
Campaign
let's see
launch.
what's happening.
And for 21 long minutes, it was mainly just this.
An incredible honor to have Governor DeSantis make this stark announcement.
False start after false start after false start after false start for 21 long minutes.
But according to Elon Musk, Ron DeSantis has a better chance of winning. And with
It's a
Elon
powerful
Musk, it's all
endorsement.
about winning.
That's a very powerful endorsement.
Yeah.
DeSantis' GOP-led legislature appeared to give Musk a wink and a nod when they approved a bill protecting private spaceflight companies like SpaceX from getting sued if a crew member is killed or injured during a flight.
What the fuck?
Just to simplify this, I think we're just going to use your... There's 380,000
It's so bad.
people, Laura.
Maybe
All right,
you
great.
shouldn't have,
So
like,
let's
fired
see.
80% of your staff.
So if we just keep crashing here.
And as for that hype, that it
Imagine
was so
that.
many people that it was melting the servers. It was barely more than tuned in to watch Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez play the video game Among Us on a random night in 2020 on the platform Twitch.
Basically, Musk
I
helping
watched
him
that.
launch his
I remember
campaign
that happening.
was the beginning of the end for Meatball Ron. In fact, Musk has a 100% track record of picking political losers. Of course, Twitter was going to be politically neutral.
Okay,
Because
I mean,
it's really
sure.
important to have the CEO with no political alignment. Oh, what's that? Musk is now saying vote Republican.
Yep.
You know, because it's going to moderate things or something. Yeah, someone's clearly never studied history.
We will be part of a big red wave that says enough is enough.
Up next, Elon Musk ready to ride the big red
Bloodbath?
wave.
Elon Musk tweeted massive red wave.
Massive red wave.
Massive red wave. Massive red wave.
You're about to see a red wave that makes day after tomorrow.
Ben Shapiro has, like, the most punchable voice. I don't know how one would accomplish that, but I'm going with that.
Look like nothing.
And
Punchable
spoilers, the red
voice.
tsunami never happened. Nor did the red wave. The red ripple? Maybe? But not only that, the very candidate that Elon Musk said he was going to support in this massive red wave ended up losing.
Get the feeling he's backing Ron DeSantis. He's also indicated support for Tim Scott.
Elon Musk tweeted last night, I voted for Myra Flores for the first time I ever voted Republican. Massive red wave in 2022.
So you wonder, especially the way Elon Musk appears to think, how much of this is just a business relationship
or longer
Oh,
term
100%.
strategy between a businessman and a politician looking to win.
He also...
Isn't that literally every single person in government? Like, the businessman controls everybody because they provide the money. Like, this isn't new groundbreaking information.
Typed out this. I'm thinking of creating a super moderate super PAC that supports candidates with centrist views from all parties. But according to Elon Musk, Ron DeSantis has a better chance of winning.
Which reminds me, wasn't Twitter going to be the everything app, which was going to handle half the world's finances?
X would be...
Never in a million years.
Would serve people's financial needs to such a degree that over time it would become, I don't know, maybe half of the global financial system. Or some big number.
Half of global financials, he thinks, is going to be moderated by Twitter. What do you even say to that?
I'm not sure what the number is, but pretty big.
Really? Half the world's financial system. Just so we're clear, America is only about 15% of the world's financial system. And you're going to do that out of the defective cousin of the social media companies. To say this makes no sense would be giving it way too much credit.
So it would be by far the biggest sort of financial institution, but like I said, not really in the way that people are used.
Just like his Hyperloop, is clearly working today. His starships don't completely break apart every time. Like, what the fuck? He's so delusional. It's not even funny. It's actually sad. And people keep giving him money. The fucking Cybertruck. Like, yeah, you see tons of fail videos with that. He also was going to do the Tesla, like, big rig thing. That never happened. Like, none of his shit works out. The only thing that he's ever done that's great is, like, the Falcon 9 things that land. And even it's not him. He doesn't know fucking lick of code. It's all the people, like the scientists, working hard under him. Yet he takes the prestige from it. Like, come on now. God, I don't like him.
Banks. Just the most efficient database for the thing that is money.
You heard it here first, folks. Elon Musk, inventor of the vacuum train, the Hyperloop.
But what if there was a fifth name for it, which is called
He's
the Hyperloop?
going to go through all of this shit.
He invented the Hyperloop 100
He's going to repeat what I said.
100
I haven't watched
before
this.
he was even born.
At 12, he built a video game he called Blastar, which started his lifelong love of inventing things that already exist.
He's now invented a brilliant new idea called a bank. But he has the amazing advantage of being first to market with this idea of the bank, which will really allow him to secure his...
He's got a great way of inventing things that already exist. Oh my god.
dominance
so
in this field,
fun.
thanks to his acquisition of
I haven't heard that before.
A microblogging site? Because reasons. Yeah, really. The website that can't even pay its own rent is going to take over the world's finances because, reasons. How's that going for you? Well, maybe some home truths. Trump is actually right about a lot of what he's saying about Musk here. The thing is that all of those subsidies is now what Musk is using to get Trump re-elected. Now, how big are these subsidies? Well, they dwarf the amount of money that Musk is donating to Trump's political action committee. SpaceX alone gets over $1 billion a year from the US taxpayer. And does the US government get value
I do
from
not
money for
want
that?
my money going
Well, a
towards
nice
that.
example would be how much
As
they
an
charge to
astronomer?
send people to the International Space Station.
Nope.
According to Musk, the Soviets used to do it and charged about $20 million a person.
Or the mercy of Putin, which is a very small thing. I mean, there.
He's so cringy, like his jokes and stuff. He's like, what's that meme where Steve Buscemi He's like dressed up like a teenager, and it's like, what's going on, fellow kids? That's exactly what Musk is.
Hopefully, but he's charged. The Soyuz seat prices started off at $20 million a piece. Now they're $80 million. $80 million for a seat on a Soyuz. It might be.
I bet they'll go down after we fly.
Yeah, competition is a beautiful thing.
Yep.
Basically, after the shuttle retirement, Russia was price gouging America.
Sure.
So Musk comes along, takes a few $1 billion of taxpayer money, and reduces the price of going from the International Space Station from about $20 million a shot to $55 million a shot, using the amazing savings from reusable technology. And now with the renewal of the contract, it's gone down to $75 million a shot. Basically, Musk is price gouging the US taxpayer almost as hard as the Russians were. And if you assume that price gouging is representative of SpaceX's contract with Uncle Sam, yeah, they're getting about $1 billion of a subsidy from the US government per year. Now, if Musk gives merely $50 million a month for, say, the next 6 months, that's about a third of $1 billion. Give or take, both parties have about a third of $1 billion in cash on hand, so Musk's donation basically doubles the amount of cash of the Trump operation. Now, in principle, you could do that just off the government subsidy of what SpaceX is getting from the taxpayer. However, the real government money flows into Tesla. Most Teslas get about a $10,000, give or take, tax break per car.
Like, that's got to be like illegal or something, right? Like, you can't use subsidy money given to you by the government to pay for a president using that money. That can't be lawful, right? Like,
effectively as a government subsidy. And they're selling about 500,000 cars a year in the US, meaning that Tesla is effectively being subsidized by the US taxpayer to the tune of about $5 billion per year. So yeah, $50 million a month is kind of chump change on these scales. Now, there'll be people out there saying, hang on, but Musk has a net worth of hundreds of billions of dollars. This is going to be like a drop in the ocean to him, right? Spoiler time. Musk didn't get that on paper wealth by making products and selling them for a profit. He's only got that rich on paper by convincing people that the companies he owns a lot of stock in are worth a crazy amount of money. The problem with being rich like this is if people decide that your company isn't worth billions of dollars because the technology you've been selling doesn't exist, like, say, for instance, a magical blood testing machine or a full self-driving, you can quite happily go from being worth billions to being worth nothing.
The company that she started at 19 is valued at $9 billion. You own over 50% of it, right? Congratulations on that.
Forbes magazine
that
has
lady,
downgraded the net worth of Elizabeth Holmes from $4.5 billion to nothing.
That is so much to lose. She had a weird, like, talking voice. She made her voice, like, very unreasonably low. It's a weird person. Well, yeah, and then she got caught for fraud, so.
Even worse, let's just say you've taken loans out against that massively overpriced stock, which in reality might actually have essentially no value. You can go from being the world's richest man to being the world's poorest man. An example would be...
She looks like Jeff the Killer. Look, tell me I'm wrong. Maybe I found it.